What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Legion on Zoom. As always and forever, I am Ches.
Yo, and I'm Miguel.
Bro, you're Sir Ches.
Facts,
Fucking
I am
Sir
Sir
Ches.
Ches. Because just like, see, I'm a man of my word. I do things. I make shit happen. I'm one of those people. I said I would be a knight of the LoZ. I've been through hell and back, and I've been knighted.
It's that. Yeah, like either you're knighted or I'm actually concerned how cold it is where you live. Like I feel like fans out there, we're gonna start a Patreon account or something or a GoFundMe. We gotta get a heater for our boy because both Rod and I are like with a shirt or something, and Ches is fucking con frío.
I'm not gonna front, I'm a little bit cold. I pulled the radiator out of my room to make space for action figures, and I'm not even making that up.
I respect that. I just want to make it known that if we do open up that Patreon, I will use it to upgrade my current armor.
I
just
approve.
get more knitted shit.
Exactly.
All right, people, what's up?
And for those of you guys who are tuning in, just know that we will not be discussing anything about WandaVision episode 5 because we have launched a new small little endeavor called and I'll try to say it correctly for the third time, LoZ spoilerific minisode. And because I said it correctly twice on the actual episode, much to my credit. And yeah, so all the information, all the good stuff, all our masturbatory theories, for lack of a better term, are definitely all just splurged and indulged and discussed in the LoZ spoilerific minisode based on WandaVision that will be out soon.
Yeah,
and by the time, yeah,
exactly. It'll be out. You know, if you're listening to this, yeah, exactly. If you're listening to this right now, our episode 5 review of WandaVision's been already out, probably for like about a week or something. Check it out. Listen, tell us what you think, and then the next review will come out soon too.
I hate it when we have to do that time math shit. Like by the time we come out,
you're a Templar, bro. We're from all time periods, and we
see exactly.
We converged using the Zoom tube technology that we only have access to here at the LoZ. Without technology to review trailers.
Yeah, facts. So it's kind of like our love of comics throughout time bring us together. Like in my time, I was using scrolls and shit just to look at drawings of superheroes. It's like the Legends of Tomorrow, but shittier. I'm down.
Exactly.
There's a lot of shit going on in the news. We got to talk some turkey because holy shit. I'm in for this fucking Wakanda show that's going to be on Disney Plus. I am so curious for something about Wakanda aside Black Panther and T'Challa, because there's so much potential. It's a giant, well, it's not a giant nation. It's actually small as fuck, but like it's so dense. You know what I mean? Like it's so rich. There's so much lore. It's just like, it's awesome. Like I love the concept and I just can't wait. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, no, and I love that it's Ryan Coogler's attached to it, right? Who fucking directed the first Black Panther movie, right? And I'm like, there's so many ways it can go. I actually don't know many details about the show. Is there any information about what is it exactly going to be about, or is just general Wakanda? Because I actually even thought they could really take advantage about this shit and make it about fucking the history of Wakanda.
That's what I assuming it was going to be about, kind of like.
Oh shit! No, but I'm just wondering because, like, in the comic books, not that long ago, they came out with a book called Agents of Wakanda.
Oh shit!
Which is supposed to be like this, like Shield Wakanda thing, you know, where like what's the that woman's Okoye, right? Yeah, like Okoye. From fucking Walking Dead. That she's like the leader of that group and stuff. And it's
Okoye from The Walking Dead. I'd read that crossover. I would read the shit out of that.
Yeah, so like I don't know, like is it more gonna be leaning towards that, like contemporary times about like Wakanda right now, or the history of Wakanda, or both? Ryan Coogler, come on, pay attention, guys. There's plenty of stuff to do.
Dude, all of that. And also, come on now, like let's address the elephant in the room. I'm ready to hear the word vibranium 15 times an episode.
Yes.
Because anything that has to do with Wakanda is like every other fifth word is something vibranium. Like everything. I'm ready for it.
And one of the things that I would love about the new show also is actually one of my complaints about the Marvel universe is that I would love for them to bring back Ulysses Claw.
Oh my God, you took the words out of my mouth. That's crazy.
Yo, what's that actor's name? Because he was
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis.
And that's how much you took the words out of my mouth. I was prepping exactly what you were saying.
Yes.
That's how I had the name ready. Like I searched through my, like, that's fucking nuts. All right, go ahead. Dude, like, I was thinking the same shit. Like, I was hoping that we get him back, like, different stages when he fights King T'Chaka, which is King T'Challa's father.
Right,
and,
right.
like, so insane. Like, oh, my God. I just had a braingasm thanks to you. Thanks.
Yeah, because that's honestly one of the things I didn't like about the Black Panther movie, that he died. I'm like, come on, like, Claw is it's a key fucking villain in Black Panther, and also he's fought other people. He's fought Daredevil, Spider-Man, the Avengers, right? So come on, man. And also, like, Andy Serkis was pretty fucking dope in the role.
Word. And come on, like, they did him dirty. Like, how he died, they underplayed him. What was it? What, like, that Killmonger shot him or some shit?
Totally backstabbed him.
There. So let me get this straight. So this man can go toe to toe with Black Panther, right? But just get shot by Killmonger.
Yeah.
Like, that's that is, like, in my opinion, something happened behind the scenes that they wrote Andy Serkis off.
Oh,
speculating, because think about it. The character had too much potential, too much history. You know what I'm saying? Then to just get shot by Killmonger, like, that seems off. Now that I had never thought about that shit until now, because now that I want him back in the show, it's like, wait, they killed him very easily too.
Yeah, and, like, kind of makes sense, right, story-wise, because, like, they did it so Killmonger could enter Wakanda, right? Be like, look who I brought you, like, your biggest enemy. So, like, I kind of get it, but I'm also thinking, like, really though, like that, like, I don't know, like, also then why did you do the whole heist before that? Why didn't you just kill him and take him? I don't know. It's like, well, whatever.
And it's just kind of like, wait, so you're telling me, like, they couldn't have worked together, where, like, Andy Serkis, like, fucking swallows some shit that makes him act like he's dead just to get him? It's like, nah, they killed him.
Oh, good point. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now.
Word.
But yeah, but then at the same time, it doesn't have to be Andy Serkis, since it's gonna be about Wakanda and they do, like, crazy flashbacks. They could just recast him as some younger cat.
Oh, all right. That's a good point too.
Yeah, so there's also that. But I definitely can't wait. Especially, like, I want to hear about, like, all the different tribes. Maybe we get to hear about the Black Panthers before T'Chaka. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly. That's what I was saying about the history. Like, imagine that shit.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Maybe they even discuss the first Black Panther, which will be crazy. Imagine, like, it's an actual Black Panther.
Like the actual animal.
Like a god.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like a man panther, a Black Manther. Exactly. But yeah, fucking, I'm all in. Can't wait. Awesome. Can't wait. For those of you who don't follow our Instagram, you're making bad choices in life, so you should follow our Instagram. We recently put up the Justice Society World War II trailer, and that shit is awesome. I have a quick theory about that. It kind of looks like the animation from Superman, Man of Tomorrow.
Man of Tomorrow.
And you are correct.
Are we talking about a Fisher-Price universe here?
I think so.
I think so. Which is cool.
Yeah,
seeing as how, the previous universe ends with the Flash leaving, because shit just got so crappy. And that's not a good lesson to teach people. If things are shitty, you want to, like, stick with it and try to work it out.
No, you run from your problems. You run from your problems as fast as you can, and they will restart.
But yeah, in this trailer, it seems like we figure out where he ended up. And I kind of like the idea of him vanishing into the white void forever. That would have been satisfying to me as well. But seeing him come back might even be better. So I'm definitely excited.
And I'm glad you bring that up, because I was wondering about that. I was wondering, is that the Flash from Apocalypse War? Because I don't remember, because, like, wasn't his costume all fucked up at the end? Or was it like, because when we see him in the trailer, it's like a prim and proper costume. Also, I do want to say, for our fans listening out there, we want to give a shout out to our very own Rod. Check out our last episode for a treatment of the fucking DC universe animated universe, right, where Rod recently saw the whole thing and talked up, which actually sets up perfectly to what we're talking about now, right? With the Superman Man of Tomorrow, and then now this movie that apparently it's this new universe that they're creating. So is it the same Flash?
Yeah, I'm pretty
That'd
sure
be
it is.
crazy.
And it's funny because you asked me in the last episode, like, oh yeah, is this gonna keep going?
Yeah.
Am I breaking out? Sorry.
No. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Just for the fans out there, we have to address technical problems to keep things crisp for you guys.
Crisp.
Yeah.
No,
damn.
Yeah, no, all right. We're having some technical difficulties, but yeah, no, exactly. We were wondering if it's gonna build, and it sounds like it is building and continuing. I actually, thanks to Rod's treatment and letting us all know that actually these new movies are on HBO Max already.
Word.
Hashtag HBO Max logo. Come on, guys, give us some sponsorship.
We're working on it.
I saw the movie. I saw the Superman Man of Tomorrow. And to be honest, I actually liked it. I actually liked it quite a lot. Even the animation, although it looked Fisher Price pricey, but like it's not that bad. It also felt kind of anime. Like it was good. No, I liked it actually. I liked it a lot. There were some really good moments that were kind of like surprising, and it only got kind of cheesy at the end. But overall, it was actually pretty good. I actually liked it a lot. I'm down to continue seeing that universe grow.
Yeah, man. You know what? I'm actually gonna watch that this weekend. I know I've been saying I'm gonna check the movie out for a while. To be honest, I'm just a tad dissuaded from Superman stuff. Like, I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm of that camp where like Superman stories aren't that attractive to me because I feel that he's too powerful. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like why the Sentry for Marvel isn't that popular. Like it's hard to know what to do with him, but DC and Warner Brothers won't give up Superman. Not that they should, but it's kind of like I tend to be dissuaded from soup stories. I don't know what it is. Like I try, they're intriguing. I'm into Superman events, but it's kind of like,
No, I get it. No, but I've actually slowly over time gotten into the Superman books. The Rebirth Superman books have been actually really good and interesting, and I can see the interest in him, and exactly in those kind of godlike fucking powers, like, but there's still challenges. And for example, with this movie, I do think what I loved about it, they showcased one of his most powerful villains, which was Parasite, who's the fucking... Word. Just takes the powers of anybody he touches, so he immediately can become Superman level power. It's just like, that's what I want to watch. That's what I want to see, fucking somebody going toe to toe with Superman like that. It was good. I liked it.
Deep cut. My first exposure to Parasite was on the Saturday morning WB cartoon. What was that? Superman Adventures?
The animated series.
Oh, Superman the animated series. Yeah. That cartoon had a lot of just 90-degree angles in the animation, but
yeah, like fucking lines.
Yeah, that was a shit. But that was my first exposure to Parasite, and they did him justice back then, in my opinion. I liked it.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. But yeah,
so this new movie takes place before Man of Tomorrow, and I'm fairly certain, given like his short dialogue when he appears, that's the Flash of the previous universe, and he has like the same New 52 like chin guard and like stylistically his costume looks like that, and then he's confused too. He's like, I just popped in, whatever. And then you get Jay Garrick in it, and you get like this really badass Wonder Woman. And also I think that the art style, I'm gonna butcher his name, and I forgot to mention this last episode, but the primary artist for the entirety of the DCAMU was Phil Miguel. Help me out. Phil
Barraza? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Phil
Check
Barraza.
out his art. He does Young Justice, all this stuff. So yeah, that worked really well. But I'm seeing the way they're moving, and it's a reminiscent of the old Superman Fleischer cartoons, which I still adore, and I'll secretly watch late at night. So I'm looking forward to a new spin, and it's a soft reboot-ish. It's not like a total wiping of the past, because you still have a guy that remembers, much like the comic books, right? Every time there's a crisis event, someone remembers it, blah, blah, blah.
Props to Warner Brothers in DC for using the Flash like that. You know what I mean? Like, in their endless, like, bullshit cycle of crisis and reinventions of the multiverse and yada yada yada, I like the fact that they used the Flash as like a foothold for that shit. You know what I mean?
A lightning rod, if you will.
Oh,
Boom.
And also, the Chez's thoughts do not reflect the thoughts of the LoZ. I want to just mention that. DC, your crises aren't bullshit. I love them, particularly the work of Jeff Johns.
Man, get that shit together. What was, dude, like, they started with their, I think, what was the first one? Was it DC? No. It wasn't Identity Crisis.
Crisis on Infinite Earth.
No. That's the original one. In the 70s.
80s.
I'm talking about like when I was in high school.
Okay,
sorry guys, I had to cough. Sorry about that, guys.
It's 0 Hour, then Crisis on Infinite Earths, then
No, Crisis on Infinite Earths is the first one.
Yeah, then 0 Hour.
And 0 Hour.
Because then when I was in high school, it was, what was it? Identity Crisis that kicked off a whole slew of like Final Crisis, Infinite Crisis.
Right, but Identity Crisis I don't think falls within those crises that were actually like multiverse affecting, because when they did Crisis on Infinite Earths, because they had a fucked up continuity and they're trying to connect all that stuff, and so that's why they had that event to try to reconnect that, and then that's what led to the famous Superman #1 issue, you know, that they're actually trying to retell his story in a new way, and all those kinds of things. And then I think you're right, I think it was 0 Hour after that, then yeah, Identity Crisis 2, but that's like separate. And then I think it was Final Crisis, which was the Grant Morrison written one, I think.
I think it's Infinite Crisis, then Final Crisis,
right.
And then Crises after Crises.
And now, like, I guess Rebirth or something now, right? And
bro, like, if DC was a person, you just wouldn't want that person in your life.
Some schizophrenic. Doesn't even know who he is.
What the fuck, bro?
So definitely go to our page on IG and check out that trailer. I think it's really cool, and it's maybe this kind of Fisher Price. You know, you put that thought out there into the ether.
I love that I put that shit into the lexicon. That's an acting
DC artwork.
I love it. I love the art too, and I do think Chesley, I guess, because we talked about it, but I don't think we've told people what's it about. Yeah, but like, see the trailer. But I think, right, it's set like for the fucking Justice Society. I think we're getting a proper Justice Society film, right? We got
the OGs.
And what I love, it's got Wonder Woman on it, right? You know, and we have the OGs, Jay Garrick, fucking Dr. Fate, right, too, and like
Man, I think.
Man, Hawkman.
Exactly. In fucking World War II, fighting fucking Nazis, you know? And then we got the Flash joining in to try to, and what I love about the trailer too, like the Flash is like, I don't give a fuck about like the future, that's dead, I'm gonna change whatever I can, right? Like, just to help out and fuck the butterfly effect, and like, it looks good.
The Flash just has to stop. Just fucking stop. Just stop. Like, stop fucking shit up. Like, why isn't the Flash regarded as the villain at this point? He's done more damage than Zoom. You get what I'm saying? Like the Reverse Flash has only like attacked him. You know, like a lot of the time, like. Barry just keeps fucking shit up on a cosmic scale, like over and over. Like, stop. Like, just let it go. But yeah, definitely excited about that. It's about time we get a Justice Society thing. Shit. Has there ever been like a real? No, we did get a live action incarnation, right, in the Arrowverse of the Justice Society. No, or I'm bugging.
I think so. Yeah, I also got one on Smallville. We're getting shades of one on Stargirl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, all right. So, but yeah, I'm glad that the OG lineup that inspired the JLA, at least I think it did, kind of like it's getting thrown out there on a more bigger, like on a way bigger platform. I'm super excited about that. Onto more superhero team-esque news. Titans season 3, it's getting his Tim Drake in, I hope I'm not butchering his last name, Jay Lycurgo. That's what it looks like. Or I'm sure it's not this way, but Lycurgo.
I think it's like I would.
Yeah, I thought it was that too. I was like Kurgo. Yeah, like Kurgo. I don't know.
All right, but either or, I'm sure we said it correctly somewhere along the line. And damn, I'm surprised you're going with Tim Drake. Like, there's a lot of Robins in the show.
Yeah, word. They might lose one in Jason Todd, who's already been shown as Red Hood in early, like, you know, peeks at the costume. You know, And obviously Dick Grayson is Nightwing, so maybe there's a vacancy, and Bruce Wayne just likes to have young boys in his crib. Whatever the case may be. I'm looking forward to see how they treat the Tim Drake character, because it will be his first live action appearance.
Facts. And I love that you mentioned exactly the fucking Bruce Wayne with the young boys, because I really do hope that, like, I hope this Titan season 3 is set like years after the season finale, because I'd be like, Batman, how did you get a new Robin that fast? Fucking Dick Grayson left. All right, I got Jason Todd. He's right there. I already had a boy.
Bro, scoped out.
He already had a young boy scoped out, and he's like, all right, Jason Todd's out. All right, I got another young boy ready. Tim Drake, come
young
through.
Boy ready.
Yeah. But it makes me wonder exactly like how much of the, because like honestly for me, I think Tim Drake's might be my favorite Robin, because Dick Grayson, I love him as Nightwing, he obviously was a great Robin, but like I don't know, Tim Drake for me, it's always been like favorite one, and it'll be great to see how much of his like tech savviness and that kind of stuff comes out, and even the things about like, because for example, I think correct me if I'm wrong, like because in the books like, Tim Drake becomes Robin because he figures out that Batman is Bruce Wayne, and kind of goes up to him like, yo, what's up, dude? Like, I know who you are. I want in. It's like, that's fucking dope, fucking smart. And also, obviously he experienced this tragedy later on in his life. Oh, actually, which is shout out to Identity Crisis.
Oh, man. One of my all-time favorite comic book scenes. If you haven't read it already, pick up that mini.
Now. Yeah.
Brad Metzler and Rags Morales.
Mm-hmm.
And for the sake of originality, I hope they kind of rush his plot as Robin, so we get to see a live action Red Robin. That'd
Even
be
the way
epic.
the show's going, it's not crazy, but I do like.
Right.
I hope they do fast forward for the next season, and we don't even know when it's gonna drop. It should have been out already, but we give them leeway because of COVID. But they got to give us a release date already for this thing. Might come out like late spring. Who knows? Maybe even next fall. We don't know shit right now.
We might even get Sir Jorah Batman back.
Yes. Well, I think we're probably pretty sure we will. But actually, speaking of Batman and all that, like I wanted to get your guys' thoughts, because you guys know like the biggest thing about this casting, right? Because like Jay, like Urgo, I don't really know who he is. I haven't seen him in other shit, He looks cool. I think I don't know what his ethnicity is, but he looks brown, so I'm like dope for a brown Tim Drake, so that's kind of cool. But do you guys know that he's in the Batman movie, right? With Robert Pattinson. Yeah. He's in that movie.
As Tim Drake?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. They haven't revealed who he is in the movie. I think he came out in the trailer as one of the kids that had like half of the Joker face on or something.
Yeah.
And so maybe he's just a side, character there, or who knows? But like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Fucking who knows what if it is fucking the same universe? That'll probably not. Of course not.
I'm sorry, man. I do like Titans, but I would hate for that to be the fact.
Even man, that would throw off the whole Batman thing. Like, wait, what? Like, huh? Straight up chronologically speaking, that'd be crazy.
That would make no sense. So I don't know why I said that, but yes.
but I'm excited to see his iteration of the Robin suit. They've been like pretty consistent throughout, I would say. And you know how each Robin kind of has like his own take on the outfit? I'm excited to see what they're going to do for Tim Drake. The one thing that I kind of read that like he was like a street kid of some sort, the way they were taking the character, which is kind of like a little bit away from the canon, which he's like a preppy rich school kid, right?
Yeah, a suburban kid.
Yeah, suburban kid, yeah.
So it's going to be interesting because isn't that kind of like the same thing it played out with Jason Todd? So they're kind of like just setting up the motif that he just picks kids off the street.
Maybe like orphans and stuff.
Damn.
And I feel like they're going to do an amalgamation of Tim Drake and Duke Thomas for this character. I'm just guessing, given the look of the character. And for the fans that don't know, Duke Thomas is now the Signal, but I think he debuted in War of the Robins, which was an event a few years ago. He's a cool character, another new young soldier for Batman's unending war on crime.
An unending supply of child soldiers.
Yeah, he should be tried for war crimes, bro.
Word.
But speaking of the suit, right? Like what his Robin's is gonna look like. But to be honest, I really do think that, for example, Dick Grayson's Robin look in the show, I think it's really heavily influenced by Tim Drake's Robin suit. You know, I think honestly Tim Drake had the best suit because he didn't have the fucking little shorts. You know,
yeah,
like
the thighs out. I never got why his thighs were out. Like in the Adam West version and all that. I'm like, how? Why?
A distraction.
And they're always like shaved
for the enemy.
It's either they're shaved or he's so young he doesn't even have hair.
God,
like
makes
it's
it more disturbing.
It's just in the heat of combat for his life.
What was that book, like Seduction of the Innocents? Like way back when the Comics Code Authority came to us because parents were worried that the Batman narrative was pushing like an undertone of homosexuality or pedophilia. I don't know.
I love the fact that they
skip the innocent. I think it's called.
I love the fact that they skip over like inspiration of like vigilantism. It inspires like homoerotic thoughts.
Exactly.
Like what?
And I like that in Batman and Robin, the animated. Not Batman and Robin. Batman and Harley Quinn, which is also on HBO Max. Harley Quinn makes a comment about that when she has Dick Grayson chained up to the bed. He's like handcuffed to the bed, and anyway. Check that out if you haven't already. I'd love anything with Harley Quinn in it.
All right, we'll check it out.
We're definitely. And something that's kind of surprising, fucking Amazon just keeps hitting it out of the park. Because to be honest, I'm assuming this shit is going to be amazing, especially after being so obsessed with The Boys. Invincible, one of the most highly regarded comic book series of all time, created by the man himself, Robert Kirkman, also responsible for creating The Walking Dead. It's coming out on March 26th on Amazon. Holy shit. That's huge. For the fans that don't know about Invincible, check that shit out.
Yes, cannot wait for that. And I think we've talked in season 1, we talked about the trailer for Invincible, which, you know, you could probably YouTube it, but don't do that. Go to Legion on Zoom, fucking on Instagram, you know, fucking, and scroll through our shit, and you'll find our old fucking Invincible trailer that we posted. And it. It's totally cool with us if you like our old posts like that, like a creepy fucking stalker. It's all good.
DM us, man.
Go through every single post.
And it looks great. The art looks just like Ryan Otley's art, you know, and so I'm excited that we got a premiere date and it's not that far away.
Shout out to Ryan Otley. Yes. Superior Spider-Man, right?
No. He did the Spider-Man. No, he did Amazing Spider-Man, like in the recent run by Nick Spencer. Yeah.
I low-key saw like the look of disappointment in Rod's face for being wrong for a second.
Word. Like, that's really funny. I like that I'm getting like Robert Kirkman's stories like in different mediums because I didn't read The Walking Dead. I read the first 2 volumes of Invincible, but I'm still gonna get the story like one way or the other. Although by now The Walking Dead show has probably deviated tremendously from the comic. I don't even know. That shit's even still running?
What, The Walking Dead? I think so. Because it's also like Beware the Walking Dead, that spin-off shit. Like,
and a Rick movie.
There's a Rick movie?
Word, that's the plan.
They're developing it. Mm-hmm. What's his name? Abraham Lincoln? What's that guy's name?
Abraham Lincoln.
What's his name?
Isn't it Andrew Lincoln?
Yeah.
Fucking Abraham Lincoln.
Tell me he wouldn't pick an Abraham Lincoln. 4-score.
But we did have an Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, the Vampire Hunter one?
No. That movie Lincoln. Wasn't he played by the same guy that did Bill the Butcher, William Cutting, and Gangs of New York? I think he was Lincoln, right? What's that guy's name? From There Will Be Blood? Damn, I'm just giving up like a bunch of names, but I can't.
Oh, word. Fuck.
No, I'm not gonna guess because this is gonna turn into a shit show.
What is that
names out there?
Gosh, what is that man's name?
Anyway,
that
dropping on Amazon. I'm looking forward to it, and it's supposed to be graphic, like dark. I like my animation dark now that I'm an adult and shit. I want blood, maybe a titty.
His proud
which they pulled off in which I didn't go into last episode, but I won't now. I'll spare you people. I'll spare all 3 of you listening. The Hell to Pay the Suicide Squad film in the DCAMU. I always gotta fucking remind myself. But yeah, that one was pretty edgy. Like that one was as R-rated as any of those movies got.
That one was awesome.
And also a solid tie-in to the Flashpoint story and just integrating the Suicide Squad, who then appear at the end, the grand finale. All well done. Bravo.
All right.
To everyone involved.
That one was definitely a awesome one. And it brought this dude into the spotlight. What was the villain in that one? The Immortal guy? No, not Zoom.
Vandal Savage?
Yeah, Vandal Savage.
Yeah,
definitely one of my favorite villains. Yeah, damn, that one was awesome. God, I love that movie. That shit was great. Hey, guys, I think we have an incoming transmission. Is that...
I'm sorry, people. We'll add a real sound effect in post.
Yeah, we will.
And yeah, I think it actually is. We actually... To all our fans out there, we actually have to engage some of our secret patented technology in order to retrieve our special guest that we have for you guys. It's called our Zoom tube, and we will be right back.
Damn, man, I always puke when we do this. All right, go ahead.
Let's do it.
Gotta do what we gotta do, man. Gotta do it.
For the fans.
Fuck it. Holy shit, we're back. That sucked. I hate it every time we do that, but it was worth every second of it.
Jesus Christ, Rod, did you throw up?
I'm gonna censor that in post. I'm gonna put that little like black bar.
We really gotta get better at this. We really got better at this.
But it's new technology. We're testing it out. There's side effects. My entire outfit got changed. Shit happens.
All these side effects worth it for Ches.
Exactly. For our amazing guest on this show, Dayspring of the Generations of X podcast, which is an X-Men specific and specialized podcast, which is a feat in itself if you think about it. Wow. How are you, sir? It's an honor to have you here.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you guys for traveling through that boom tomb just to come see me.
That's right.
Welcome to the apocalypse.
Now, and we're very excited to have you on, man. It's a pleasure. You know, we've been, following each other on social media, and your show is fantastic. I am the resident X-Men fan of the group, and so I love consuming your guys' show. And just a quick shout out for people out there, right? Like, check it out. They've had some amazing interviews they've interviewed the showrunners from the X-Men the animated series, Eric and Julia Lewald, the director of the show, Larry Houston, writers such as Senna Grace, famously known from his Iceman run, and also very appropriate for the name of the show, the Generation of X actors from the Fox movie, which we mentioned, I think an episode or two ago.
At the front door, for real?
That's that's insane.
They had Jubilee, so actor Heather McComb, and Refrax actor Randall Slavin, who's like the Cyclops or what? No, what was he? He was supposed to be Chamber, right?
He was supposed to be Chamber. Yeah, and yesterday I sat down with Agustin Rodriguez, who played Skin. It was his birthday, and he wanted to celebrate. I know, and I told him, bro, I grew up in Miami con mi abuela en Calle Ocho. I had my cafecito and mi croqueticas, and I told him seeing him in that movie was the first time I saw my family represented in the superhero genre.
Yes.
Fucking cool, man. He was the coolest guy ever. We ended up talking for 2 hours. So we have him from there. And we also have Jeremy Ratchford, who played Banshee. And wait, Miguel, have you been up to par with everything that's going on with the X-Men election?
Oh yeah, actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we just dropped a new episode today, but people who are listening now, this was a week or so ago, don't get confused about time, but we talked about the X-Men election, which you guys have been doing a fantastic job at campaigning for your guys' candidates, keeping us up to date. I heard your guys' podcast episode on the election, and I was blown away. You guys had fucking Banshee, the actor who played Banshee, do a campaign for people to vote for Banshee, and that's incredible.
And he's Canadian, and we made him do the Banshee accent. And he was here like, I don't think I want to do this. I'm sounding a little bit more Scottish. I can't get into the Irish. I'm like, no one will care. And actually, a lot of people did care, and we got a lot of DMs about it.
It's an election that matters. These are where votes really should be going, deciding how superhero teams are assembled.
Yes. No, and exactly. And I remember because you guys, like, you were for Cannonball, right?
Yeah,
First?
I was.
But then
Sam
you
Guthrie.
switched it for Banshee.
You know what? I'm just like, I'm a flip-flopper. I thought Sam and Miguel and like the rest of you, if you think this too, I thought Sam was the most organic choice because he was the one who would actually play by the rules on Krakoa. No one is playing by the rules on Krakoa. You need someone who's going to be a team player, and I thought Sam was going to be the best one for that. But you know what? Banshee, Jeremy Ratchford, that's it.
I like the idea with Banshee. You guys convinced me actually with Banshee because like I felt because like with Sam, I love Sam, but he's already like in the New Mutants, you know, and he's like in the Shi'ar, you know, space, and I'm like I don't want to take him away from his family, you know, out there.
And he has that bro romance with Sunspot.
Yeah.
Let them be bros in space.
And like Banshee, where's he at right now? Banshee isn't anywhere. He's not on any really book right now. So come on, let's give him a home.
Has no voice right now, and he's literally been doing nothing for the last 10 years since Selene resurrected him in Necrosha. Boyfriend has not said a word, and that's come on. Anyways, I digress.
Quick comment to Banshee though too. I do think I feel he deserves it because I honestly think he's had the worst, lamest comic book death of a superhero, especially somebody so big as Banshee. Like he was from the giant size X-Men, you know, and he died how? Fucking hit by the Blackbird. A plane just crashed against him in the Deadly Genesis.
Awesome. Wait. Who was piloting the Blackbird? Was it thrown at him via telekinesis? Like, what happened there? Like,
it was during the Deadly Genesis arc, and I don't know. Chaz and Rod, did you guys read that when it first published?
That's with that Summers brother, right?
Yeah, with Vulcan in it. So when that story was coming out, it was like the early 2000s. Everyone thought Adam X was the third Summers brother, right. And there had been decades of like hints throughout it. And then all of a sudden, Vulcan comes and is killing all the X-Men, including Banshee with the Blackbird.
Right.
And it was so jarring, and it wasn't a very good story at the time, but it's aged better. Like I think people have sort of accepted it as part of canon. So yes, I agree. He had a lame death. He had a great resurrection in Necrosha.
Right.
And then he presumably stayed, and then Remender brought him back again, and he was one of Apocalypse's horsemen. And then he's just been in limbo. So you voted for Banshee though.
Yes. Eventually, I got convinced because I was going for Armor first, actually, because I liked her and I feel she could grow more and they could do more stuff. But but she has a good role in Sword right now, so I'm like, I think she should stay there. And I think Banshee's would be the best way to go.
Did you guys vote at all, or
we didn't? Well, I didn't actively vote online, but I voted on our show, and I believe I went for Forge.
Okay. Now I feel Forge.
I'm not that well versed in the X-verse, but I went for Forge on principle and practicality.
Yeah, I agree on practicality. I think he's in terms of powers, and I think Ex-Wife said this best, that if we're talking about practicality and like what powers you want on a team, like Forge has it. But I'm gonna echo. I'm gonna stop being nice. I'm gonna echo Rod here. Lame.
No.
Yeah. He doesn't even have like a personality. I don't know if you collected.
You don't have a personality.
I don't know if you collected like the Toy Biz action figures in the early '90s, but nobody bought that Forge action figure. I'm basing my whole opinion based off of that.
I agree.
I had it. I have him. I'm gonna. My action figures are still back home in Tijuana. I'm gonna ask my mom to get it, take a photo, and I'll upload that.
And watch him be the most pristine one because you never played with him.
Or because he's the most valued and treasured one. If you had an action figure, I wouldn't buy your action figure.
Oh my God, savage! No, man, he's lame because like, come on, like everything going down with him and Storm. Like, do you walk away from Storm? That fucking goddess is in front of you. You're gonna say, "Yeah, no, thank you," and like, "What? No, I'm sorry."
What reason
pretty sure for him walking away from him?
What
What reasoning did they give, like, for him walking away from Storm.
They were just, at the time, they were in a relationship and it just wasn't working out. And she was going to come to him and say, I wanted to marry you. And he kind of was just like, hey, I'm done with this relation, and walks out. And then she falls to the floor and she says to herself, I was going to say yes, and you're like, fuck, you had a chance to, it worked out. I mean, Storm upgraded, with Panther. Like, that was a fucking upgrade. But then the next big story with Forge was Messiah Complex, which was a great story in of itself. But then we see him again in Ghost Boxes, the Warren Ellis astonishing run directly after Whedon. And Forge had like a mental breakdown, was being salty with Storm, and kind of died at the end of that. And then he just appears again out of nowhere as Dazzler's like production manager.
You gotta pay bills, man.
You gotta pay bills. Like, so why not go on tour with Dazzler? So I don't see much of a narrative with Forge, these days, but I like him as, on Krakoa monitoring and being tech support.
And I like him on Benjamin Percy's X-Force. I think I like, and the way that he's interacting with Krakoa to create weapons, I'm like, that's cool. Like, stay there. I'm like, keep up with that role, Yeah,
it's Krakoan technology, and I like him in that role. I like him servicing Krakoa at large. And that's like with the election, when I was thinking of some characters, I'm like, you have a character like Tempo, who I love, and has a very different view on mutant rights than the other X-Men and Krakoa. And I want to see her just own that, embrace it, and give us a storyteller like that. When you start bringing in some certain characters onto the X-Men, you make them be an X-Men, you're like, well, you just pigeonholed a really cool character to be a certain way. Like, let them just be themselves. And I think now, organically with Forge, he should be security on Krakoa.
I think we should have a 3-hour live-action Forge movie.
Yikes.
Who would you cast as him?
Oh!
Lou Diamond Phillips. Boom. Already. Had that locked and loaded.
Good job,
gentlemen. I want to take a step back.
Yes.
We want to really introduce you, Dayspring. That's your mutant name, right?
That's my mutant name.
Yeah. Okay,
mutant
cool,
and proud.
So tell us a little bit about, how you started your podcast, a little bit about yourself, how you got into the X-Men, because apparently you're really deep into the X lore, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like everyone and their mother on the planet, I got bored during COVID. I was traveling quite a bit for work. I'm an auctioneer. I'm a benefit auctioneer. And so I get booked in all these different cities, and I'm always on the run. I'm always getting drunk at hotel, bars or airport bars and stuff like that. And, my life was going at such a fast pace. It just came to a screeching halt. And, COVID 2020, like, it was just a really crappy year. And I wanted to do something a little bit more constructive. And I was very lonely. And I wanted to talk with other people about the X-Men, and in a really engaging way. So, starting the podcast, Generations of X, I wanted to create just like a little room where people can come and talk about the X-Men. We don't judge. It's not a situation where we're like, no, Forge is better than this person or blah, blah, blah. Except for Hank McCoy. I fucking hate Beast. Fuck Beast. Beast is the fucking worst X-Men ever.
Crazy that you said that.
Like, he's awful. And we have an episode with Warpath Dylan over at the House of X podcast where we dive in with the. Let me ask you three a question. Where did Beast get his doctorate degree from?
Oh,
no one knows. No one.
He got it in the Caribbean, like any respectable. Ask Miguel, he would know.
Hey. Mine's legit. No, but I think, like, didn't Beast work at Harvard or something for a while, or MIT? I remember he was once something, like, I assumed it came from there or something, but no.
Like, he just showed up at the Avengers audition and was like, I'm a doctor now. And he worked at the Brand Corporation, but presumably, but working at the Brand Corporation, this isn't Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Gwen Stacy, where you just work somewhere and you're all of a sudden like synonymous to getting a doctorate degree. It does not make any sense. Like, he was already working there. He had some knowledge. Like, he had to get like a piece of paper, even if he's the smartest man in the room and he did that in a month. Like, where did he get it from? That I'm just asking for receipts. That's it. That's all I want.
And that's and that's also just like the tip of the iceberg of the shit. Because I'm glad you bring it up, because we actually did want to ask you a little bit about, not to get into too much, right? But exactly, but why is he the worst X-Man, right? But it's like,
okay,
in his defense for a second, maybe he put in enough clinical hours that there was some type of accreditation program that allowed him to get his degree.
Is that a thing? I don't know. I have friends and family who are doctors.
You see,
like it's really a laborious process for them.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
Dude, my prima, like she just told me she got like her full first like job as a doctor, and I'm like, you graduated like 4 years ago. Like, what the fuck? You have to do an internship, you have to do, residency, a fellowship, whatever the fuck these doctors do. And I'm just like, I could never do that. Praise you, but I thought you were a doctor already, with all that. But no, here, just quickly, where's the doctorate from? He literally licked Psylocke. In the medical exam room when she came back to life, like completely gross and creepy. Fucked with our boy Scott.
Wait, hold on. Take a step back. Why?
So this is when Psylocke came back to life after Extreme X-Men.
Yeah.
And Jamie brought her back. So just that sweet spot between Extreme and House of M. And Beast is doing kind of like an exam on her to making sure she's fine. And he's here like, well, you look great, you smell great, and you taste great. And licks her neck. And it's like, you're a doctor, man. Like, I don't care what your personal life is. And,
a little bit Army Hammerish.
Oh,
yes.
I'm so glad. Dude, we're going to be great friends. You just made it. I literally at 4:00 in the morning, I'm scrolling through all the leaked messages that Army was saying to me.
It was like, oh.
But there you go. That I think Army Hammer and Beast are synonymous now in my head.
And we actually were a little bit worried about this because I think a week or two before the news broke of fucking Cannibal Army Hammer, we had just posted on our account about how he looks just like Adam Strange from the Strange Adventures book right now by Tom King and Nick Gerards and Doc Shaner. Yeah. And it's like, are they going to change the look moving forward? Like, oh, no, he doesn't look like him.
Everyone was casting Army Hammer. I don't dislike Army Hammer. I don't like him as a person. Not that I know him, but just like his media presence. But as an actor, I think he's a great actor. But everyone's been casting him as Cyclops. I think he was Batman in some stuff. I'm all for it.
That's the Justice League Mortal, the movie that was never made.
There you go.
Batman.
Word.
Oh. Yeah, so I mean, whatever, man. Like Army Hammer, bye Felicia. But yeah, no, and then Beast fucks with our boy Cyclops. The stand is Cyclops was right. I mean, he was the only one who cared only person who cared about repowering the mutant race. And then there's fucking Beast betraying his best friend. And again, like that ending of AVX, which I think we're going to be talking about as a group. That ending where he's here like, oh, Scott, all these new mutants, now don't have, are in a world now that's going to be extremely dangerous. And Scott's like, what do you mean new mutants? Like, he did not think to tell his best friend that, hey, you know what? Your plan worked. The mutants have been repowered. We are back in a major way. And he just mentioned it so cavalier. And that's like a friend who just doesn't have your back. So
I remember that scene. That shit pissed me off because it's like, come on, man! Like, you guys are the founding X-Men. Like, don't be a dick. Like, this is a big deal for all of you guys. No, mutants are coming back, and you're like, hey, passing. Like, shut the fuck up. But anyway, yes. So all right. So you created the show to be able to talk shit about Beast and to talk.
The driving force of
that's
the creation.
it, man.
And then love about everybody else, right? Of course.
We're an anti-Beast account. I'm sorry. Come for me in my DMs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to say, yeah. And just, have a space to talk to people about, the books. And, I post on the Foosh, I post on CBR, I posted on AOL keyword Marvel back in 1995.
Damn.
The message boards can be very vitriolic.
Yeah.
And, I don't want to fight with someone. I'm just exchanging ideas. And if my idea doesn't work for you, that's fine. You know what I mean? Like, we don't have to, these are fictional characters in fictional politics. It's just fun. It's to, engage and talk with other passionate people. And everyone has been absolutely wonderful. And I remember when I first listened to you guys, I was trying to search for other like comic book podcasts. And I'm forgetting what was the first episode I listened with you guys, but I just felt like I was walking into, it was like, your second or your third episode, and you may have been talking about the Snyder Cut in it.
It could have been any episode.
Any episode.
No, I know that, but I can't remember the topic, but I just felt like I was like with my friends, and I just like I messaged you immediately because I found myself wanting to interject in the conversation.
Awesome.
And just meeting like other podcasters like you guys, it's just such a wonderful community, and everyone's so incredibly supportive. It's fun.
It's like we had to evolve with the times. Like, we had to find a way to just keep having comic book based conversations.
Yeah. And wait, do you guys all three live in New York? Do you guys like pick up the weeklies together? Did you guys before COVID like meet up and like watch movies together? Like what was the gang doing before?
Well, I mean, we definitely used to hang out and get together for the movies, but as far as the books themselves, we essentially took the Wally route and just sat at home and just pressed buttons that said purchase. While some of us, I believe, Rod would make the periodic paper run, correct?
That's right.
To good old Jim Hanley's when it was still open. Shout out to
Jim Hanley's universe.
Yeah. I saw Chris Evans and Jessica Alba.
You were there. We were there.
Yeah,
we were there that day.
That is so
crazy.
Back in like crazy.
Like 2003, 2004.
Dude,
something like that.
First one
no. I think that was in 2006 because if I'm not mistaken, that was literally my last day of high school.
Okay, and so if you remember, Jessica Alba comes out of like the car, and everyone in line just started swarming her, and I had like a disposable camera. I'm just trying to I'm like climbing over my boyfriend and like trying to take a picture of her, and I have this like grainy photo of Jessica Alba like somewhere. She's not even blonde; she's brunette in it, and I was like, I want to see Storm, but I love.
I was literally on Chez's back trying to get a glimpse of her. I climbed up on Chez.
I remember thinking that the dude who played Dr. Doom was overdressed for the occasion. I think
Julian McMahon.
I think he had on like a silver suit with a white shirt, right?
Yeah. Well, wait. Do you want to know what I remember about Julian McMahon specifically about this? So you had to wait in line to go see them, and they were all sitting, in front of the window. Their backs turned. I look, and Julian McMahon was on Charmed. He was on Nip Tuck.
Yeah.
He was a very handsome guy on screen. And I remember looking at him being like, he has a bald spot. Yeah. Wait, let me say that again. Wait, he has a bald spot, like right there. And like,
you went British right there.
I know what happened there. It's like, and I was just like, and that kind of, and by the way, it was him and Chris Evans, and Chris Evans was like 19 at the time. He didn't have that many people. He wasn't Captain America yet. And like, it was Jessica Alba, and I'm forgetting the guy who played Mr. Fantastic. But they were the ones that were hard to, Ian something.
McGruffalo, something like that.
I was going to say Ian McKellen and be wrong.
They were the harder ones to like get a signature or something from, but like Chris Evans was just right there. And I remember I went up to Chris Evans and I was like, yo, he's like, hey. And I was like, you're hot. And he just laughed. You know what I mean? Like he was so chill about it. Like such a good guy and just down to earth. You can see it then. And I'm so glad he's our Captain America now.
I mean,
remember there were like these four people in front, like on the very front of the line. There's like this clobbering crew. And they all had like these thing T-shirts. Like they were like their own little fan club, and they were there first in line. I'm like, that's awesome. Dope. That's commitment. Me and Chez just stayed to see them come out of the limousines and stuff, but we were trying to make that long ass.
Yeah,
line.
hell yeah, that was crazy. But I'm so like, it's crazy how the universe works that we're sitting here right now, and that's insane.
I'm like, it's mind blowing, man. Well, that's not what I mean. You guys grew up here. I moved here. I can't believe I've been in New York that long now. You know what I mean?
Also true.
It's so strange, but yeah.
Damn, no, and I'm also a transplant. Like I've been here for it's barely gonna be 10 years now. So like those are experiences I didn't get to live with you guys, you know, but that's fucking incredible, man. But speaking of like back in the day like that, so you know, and then you told us what led to you to create the show, you know, great show and the community that you have. What got you into comic books to begin with? Like how did you fall into that?
Yeah, you know, my primo had a card of Rogue from the 94 Flare. I always say Flare. The 94 Fleer Ultra. And it was Rogue where she's kind of like, she has her back to, you know, the viewer, and she's just looking, she looks really powerful. And I turned it over and I started reading about her powers and how she can absorb memories, and that her name was Unrevealed. And it was just a natural curiosity and like kind of like a string I pulled. So, you know, I started asking my primo Roy about it. And then one day, like my abuela was just like, hey, you know, I don't want to take you to the comic book store. And the comic book store we went to was this one down Calle Ocho called Line Drive Peepers and Comics. So it wasn't even like a full comic book store. It was like half Peepers. And, you know, my primo and I just went down there and we started buying the packets, and I started collecting from there, and it snowballed into what it is today.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, man.
Awesome. But I mean, and after that, I'm sure you had that moment where you went down your first X-Men rabbit hole and then it never ended from there. So which was the mutant that essentially captured your heart? Who essentially is your favorite X-Man, or just your favorite mutant, considering how big it is?
Okay, guys, I should have made this clear, given what we're going to talk about today, because
I know. I hear the show.
I'm a Jean Grey stan. She is my favorite X-Man. I am a crazy Jean Grey stan. I literally think the only person who should have the Phoenix Force is Jean Grey, and I am offended by anyone who possesses, you know, or has a fraction of the Phoenix. So yeah, Jean Grey's my favorite. You know, why is she my favorite? I've kind of ruminated on that over the years. You know, I used to love April O'Neil, Marsha Cross on Melrose Place, you know, characters with red hair. Just my mejor amiga, Yasmin, has red hair. So I always kind of like gravitate towards, you know, people with like that kind of like fiery personality. But I just think Jean is like the heart and soul of the X-Men. I think a lot of stories around her are built with a lot of heart, and like she gets good panel time. You know, Morrison's X-Men, you know, my perfect Jean Grey is Here Comes Tomorrow, where she's in the white hot room, a white Phoenix, completely in control of her power, resets the timeline for Scott and Emma to get together because she was able to rise above all of it and see what needed to be done.
Hell yes.
Hell yeah, right?
That is a good pitch. Good pitch for Jean Grey.
And now I've always had a fascination with that specific thing. Now, you obviously have your doctorate in X-Men with a specialty in Jean Grey. So
I'm glad someone on the X-Men has a doctorate degree.
Exactly. An actual one.
An actual one.
So ever since the cartoon on Fox from the 90s, why is the Phoenix Force in love basically with Jean Grey specifically? What's up with that bond? Because as per the event that we're going to cover later, it could, you know, like it can be anyone as far as the Force is concerned. But why does it seem to be obsessed with Jean Grey? I've always wondered about that.
Okay, so hang on. I have so like I'm going on overload here. It's just like I want to do like a Cylon, just download like my thoughts into your brain here.
That'd be awesome.
Why Phoenix and Jean? Why is it in love with her? Well, we know very early on when Jean went into space during X-Men: The Hidden Years, the Phoenix sensed a kindred spirit within Jean. And from there, it kind of kept tabs on her, that when she cried for help during that fateful night on the spaceship, the Phoenix answered her. And, you know, through that, Jean has been able to discover her own power. You know, I don't want to say that she was weak before, but, you know, the 60s, 70s, women in comics were written a certain way. The girl on the team was written a certain way. Yeah. That was the first time Jean was completely, fully powered. She was going to be a cosmic character. And then Dark Phoenix went down. And then, you know, she comes back, you know, she absorbs the memories of Madeline Pryor. And then during somewhere right before Morrison, Jean is exposed to the Phoenix again. I think it was during X-Men Forever, Fabian Niceza's X-Men Forever event, not the Chris Claremont one that he did later on. So in there, I think it's implied that Jean and the Phoenix are one and the same, that they have this natural rapport, this passion for life and creativity. And so during Morrison's, we see that Jean is starting to become more of a god, while Cyclops is becoming a little bit more of a human. And part of that godhood for Jean is being able to manipulate things on a molecular level and resetting universes. So when she ascends into the White Hot Room, she's like the Phoenix of the White Crown. There is no one higher than her. So she's in complete control of it. And it's just really beautiful. And then she comes back in Phoenix Endsong and she says to the Phoenix, you and I are one. And the Phoenix says, so the longing I feel to always return to Earth is your longing. And you know what I mean? So, yeah. So then she could, I know. So then she came back.
That's beautiful. That's actually low-key lovely.
That's some poetic shit. I'm glad.
Greg Pak.
Speaking of beautiful, I'm going to throw up the image of the Phoenix from the end song.
Yeah, the cover, right? The infamous cover.
Yeah, the one like that.
Yeah,
that shit,
beautiful cover. Yep.
I remember getting shocked by that shit at Jim Hanley's Universe on the shelf.
That's when, I'm sorry, go.
No, go ahead. It was just that like I remember just walking in and seeing it. We just like, oh shit, like that's some amazing art.
That's when Greg Land was actually giving us good art. Not what he. Damn. I know. I mean, what came afterwards, it's not good. No shade. I hate to throw shade at creators, but I think it's obviously, it's obvious.
Yes, of course. They're saying they're
pretty good Nightwing run.
Oh, he did? Yeah.
I'll throw that up too.
All right.
He made Dick Grayson look like Brad Pitt.
Yeah, but I think his like last X-Men runs, that he did, because the issue is like he's using, like apparently like porn pictures and then basically just painting over it. It's just like a little.
That.
Well, and look, and I get it. Like artists need to be inspired from something. Have at it. I'm not gonna. Who knows about the porn thing? So I'm not gonna speak to it. My thing is, it's the blatant reusing of panels over and over and over again. And at the time when he was on Uncanny X-Men with Fraction, I remember being angry and tweeting at like Nick Lowe and being like, you're charging me $3.99 for this book and it's all reused art. And
nice.
And I know other artists do that, of course, for brevity, and you're doing a monthly schedule, but it was like that panel of Jean coming out of like the water in Phoenix Endsong, I want to say number 5. Like that's reused everywhere, like and other things too. But anyways, I digress. But yeah, Phoenix Endsong, up to Phoenix Endsong, I think there's a wonderful, beautiful narrative with the Phoenix and Jean being one and the same.
Yo, but then from that, I actually, because I love that exactly. Then I didn't know such the deep details of that loving almost relationship between them. But for example, I want to get your thoughts on, because then we had the Phoenix Resurrection, right? The Return of the Jean Grey book, which is, I think, there's mixed feelings to that. But I personally liked the way it ended because I felt it was a nice breakup almost where Jean Grey got back her like independence from this like toxic codependent relationship that they had, where she stood up. Like the Phoenix is almost basically begging her like, please. And like the Phoenix becomes like a little small thing that she can hold in her hand. And she's like, nah, I'm good. Like, go away. Like, no, and I like that. I felt that was healthy for Jean. Like, I don't know. What were your thoughts on that?
I didn't like Phoenix Resurrection as much. I think Rosenberg gets a lot of hate from X fans. He's not a bad writer. If you read his Hawkeye and like Winter Soldier, it's wonderful. Phoenix Resurrection, I think, shouldn't have been a team book. I think it should have been kind of like how Phoenix Endsong was, concentrating on some of the characters that are close to Jean. I mean, at the time, though, you had Kid Cyclops, you had Old Man Logan. I mean, those are two characters that didn't really resonate with the Jean we knew that was coming back. And then Emma was just in there for like a panel. You know what I mean? Like, and Emma should have been at the forefront with that. So, the ending, I agree with you. I think when it was good, it was good. Like that scene when Jean breaks out and she's here like Bobby, Storm, and she sees Cyclops again, and she realizes the Phoenix is just like fucking with her, and she's here like, is that the best you can do? I mean, you can tell she's in pain, but she's standing up to that pain. I love it. I think I had two main questions leaving it. Like, it made it sound like Jean was dead this entire time, when we knew she was in the White Hot Room working as a White Phoenix, but it's kind of implied that she was dead. So what happened in the interim from when we last saw her to now? And why did Teen Jean need to die for Adult Jean to come back? That didn't really make sense, especially since Teen Jean is supposed to be, Adult Jean, just her past self.
Right,
so
let me stop you there for a second, Dayspring. So not all our fans are as deep into the lore as we are.
Word.
So about the White Hot Room, what is this?
Well, okay. I mean, I actually wanted to ask you, which was like exactly what Rod was saying. Like, since people aren't that well versed, we could start at like the very base of the house and work our way up. What is the Phoenix Force itself?
Okay, so the Phoenix Force is all of the life and passion in the universe. Damn. It's like the spark that came out of the Big Bang.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so that's what it is. And the Phoenix operates on a macrocosmic level. And it's following orders and an agenda that, our feeble human minds could never comprehend. So, when in Dark Phoenix, you see that she burns away the Dabari system. Years later, we find out when the Phoenix burns away something, it burns away what doesn't work. So you can see the Phoenix maybe as an evolutionary hand. You can see it maybe as a hurricane, just making landfall and causing destruction. There's not a real set answer yet because the Phoenix is at the mercy of whatever the writer doing it, wants it. But in larger terms, I think that's how you can like comprehend the Phoenix.
So it's kind of one of those things where it's like a forest fire, where it's like it's extremely destructive, but it also breeds new life wherever it ends. It's kind of like it's a necessary force, not necessarily evil, but it's a necessary force in the universe for balance.
Yeah, absolutely, 100% there.
Okay,
there you go.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we understand the scope of the Phoenix, but why can't they get it right on film?
Well, so no, 100.
Okay, wait. Let me take a step back. Which of the two Dark Phoenix iterations in live action did you prefer? Since you're a Jean lover,
if you have to choose.
Oh no, you have to choose.
You have to choose one.
This is the vote that matters right now.
Oh my god!
Is it Sansa or the other? I don't even know the chick's
Famke.
name.
Famke, yeah.
Yes.
Famke Janssen, yeah.
Look, I love Famke. I thought she was a perfect Jean Grey. I think the setup was there for a good Phoenix story. So I'm going to say X3 because also, and for those of you who don't know, Days of Future Past reset the timeline. So X3 kind of was wiped from existence.
Yeah.
Thank God.
So it at least played a larger part in the story.
And then that's good because that is the right answer. X3 is the best Dark Phoenix story. If we have to pick one, because the last one was just was not. It was trash. It was just not good.
Well, the second Simon Kinberg said that this Phoenix story was going to be more grounded. I was like, the X-Men have already been grounded. Like, give us a cosmic narrative. And Simon Kinberg was the director for Dark Phoenix. I believe it was the first time he ever directed a movie, but he's sort of been, I'm forgetting what his title was. He wrote or was involved on some level with X3. So that's kind of why a lot of the story is parallels. And then he was like executive producer for, First Class, Apocalypse, and Days of Future Past.
All right. So now that you gave us a good, Phoenix 101 also, and so the White Hot Room, what is that exactly for those of us that may not be that clear?
So the White Hot Room, and they do explain it in what we read, it's sort of a nexus of all realities. Within the comic book, the M'Kraan crystal from the X-Men anime series? Yeah. Where, during the Phoenix Saga, the M'Kraan crystal was going to like eat the entire universe and you have to journey inside of it and, Phoenix saves the day. The White Hot Room is at the center of the M'Kraan crystal. And it's a nexus of all realities that a Phoenix host can access. So just think of it as a higher state of being if you're a Phoenix avatar.
Kind of like that White Room in The Matrix, right? When he meets the architect.
Well, it's so funny. I was talking with someone, I don't know if you know him, Mr. Scott Free. And the White Hot Room came from Morrison's run, which was in Here Comes Tomorrow, which was in the early 2000s. And I didn't realize this, but a lot of what Morrison did in the X-Men was a byproduct of that Y2K spirituality that, the Matrix was at the center of.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's absolutely 100. I didn't even think about that till now, man. Wow.
Yes.
Yes.
No, and I love that too. Like the idea of the white hot room, and I love how they've been, using it across different, aspects of the Phoenix story. And like you're saying, it's like it might mean different things. Obviously we'll talk about it in more detail in the AVX. It's kind of cool when we see people there in, more than just one person. And with the current event that which we'll get into in a second with Enter the Phoenix, just basically everybody just chilling there, like it's just a lounge room.
No.
I was like, okay, I thought it was.
Yeah, I think it's just, depending on the writer, it's either a place where the Phoenixes do their best work, or it's a place where the Phoenixes incubate and they wait to be reborn.
Oh, that's
Is that younger Jean still running around from Bendis's run?
No. Exactly. And then because you were saying that she had to die, no, she didn't die. So the young, and it was convoluted. I didn't really love it. It was from the extermination storyline where they had to go back in time because obviously eventually the fucking timeline wackiness got up to them. And Ahab was hunting them. Because Ahab's like, well, I'll kill the young ones now. For whatever reason, he's like, I'm not going to travel to the past to kill them. I'm going to travel to the present. I don't know. It's confusing.
I love Ed Brisson so much. But the thing that happened with Teen Jean was in her mini series, the Phoenix was coming for her. She was having these visions of the Phoenix. And she was doing everything in her power to reject the Phoenix. But finally, the Phoenix arrives on Earth. And Teen Jean is like, I don't want you. And the ghost of adult Jean Grey is like, stop it. She doesn't want you. She's not ready to have you. And the Phoenix is like, I didn't come for Teen Jean. I came for the real Jean. But in order to do that, I need to get her out of the way. So she kills, the Phoenix kills Teen Jean. And then Teen Jean is in the white hot room. And Teen Jean in the white hot room realizes she can have the Phoenix resurrect her. So Teen Jean gets then resurrected and then gets sent back home in the past. So I'm sorry to your listeners. It is confusing. It's confusing. And that's the easy, digestible way of saying it.
I feel like
and
I was gonna say I feel like the X-Men verse, which is what it is on itself, is like an MC Escher painting, like the one with the stairs, and somehow you have a mental map of how the whole scene works.
Yo, exactly. It all gets so convoluted so quickly. And I never got into the Jean Grey miniseries. And I'm like, all right, I kind of now I feel like, should I not?
It's actually a really great series, by the way. I forget who the writer was, but it's kind of like the Jean touring the Marvel Universe and teaming up with Thor and Psylocke and Wanda. It's a great book.
Because that's the one thing I did like about the teen X-Men's being in the present. I did like Jean Grey, especially out of all the teen ones. I like Jean. I kind of like how she was developing her powers in a different way and kind of dealing with the history of the X-Men. I think in a more serious way than the other members did. I felt, like Bobby and Hank were, and Hank's trying to be a wizard, like a sorcerer. And it's like, all right, Hank, fuck something else up, I don't know, and then with the extermination, and then I love the art because I think the art, was it RB Silva? No, Pepe Larraz, I think it was. Beautiful art, but eventually they're sent back to their time, and then they're made to forget everything they went through until that moment
in the present.
Where the older present versions of the X-Men remember that whole shit, and it's like, oh, okay. All right, I guess that works.
Wild.
That was a great way of putting it. Yeah.
All right, before we dive into AVX,
well, Enter the Phoenix.
Yeah. All-time favorite run for the X-Men. Let's do a round table.
Man, yeah, I want to go last. I have to think about that. That's a savage question, man.
It is a savage question.
Actually, I do want to take advantage to do a quick shout out as well for people out there listening to the Generation of X podcast, great X-Men podcast. You guys just started a comic book club, right?
Yeah, we did.
And that's epic.
And you guys are going to be reading, I think, which is for me one of my favorite ones. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I remember loving it a lot. You guys are doing, what is it, the Phalanx Covenant, right? And the beginning of Generation X, no?
Yeah, no, that's absolutely that. We kind of, we put it up on our Insta story. We asked questions like, what do you guys want to read? We had people vote, and we got an equal amount for Generation X and Phalanx Covenant. And someone who we talk to all the time, he's wonderful. He's a writer for the Wall Street Journal, was like, why don't you just do both of them? It's one story. And yeah, that's how we sort of landed on doing that. And book club came about because, again, I was reading all these stories. I reread Phalanx Covenant actually last year, and I had no one to talk about it with. Like, I don't have comic book stands in my everyday life. So book club for me is like, I just think of that like awkward 8th grader who just wants to talk about, you know, Onslaught and Xavier being, you know, the traitor, the long revealed ex-traitor, and just being able to get on a Zoom, just like what we're doing now, and just talk and shoot the shit. And we can be right, we can be wrong about our opinions, but we read it and we have a passion for it. That's it.
Or are you an extremely well-educated scientist at the head of your field? See, it could be either one. It could be either one.
You're right there. You're right there, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Like, since we don't really have comic shops anymore like we used to, I mean, thankfully, like I've mentioned before, Midtown Comics is still thriving, or so it seems. Shout out to Midtown Comics. But yeah, where do you have these conversations? And also, Ches, shout out to Larry from Jim Henley's Universe.
Shout out.
You remember Larry?
Yeah.
That was where I would like stand and talk about the latest issues. I'm like, hey man, so what do you think about this latest like Batman comic? And we just talked there, like, who's stronger, Punisher or Batman? And I guess now it's a virtual forum. Now we just talk here.
And the virtual forum is so, again, vitriolic on like some message boards. People either misread you or they get really angry. But so you two grew up in New York, and Miguel, you came 10 years ago. Yeah. Were you able to go to comic book stores like Jim Henley's or Midtown and just be able to, or St. Mark's Comics, and just sit there at the counter and talk?
He's asking you, Miguel, I think.
Oh, for me, no.
No, I was asking you guys.
Midtown Comics doesn't exist in Mexico. No. It's in Midtown here.
Yeah, you know? Miguel, you're here 10-ish years, and then Ches and Rod, you grew up here, right?
Yeah.
So were you able to go there and like have that?
When I first met Miguel, when we first started living together, I had like this whole collection of trays of X-Men trays. I'm like, dude, you need to read all of these, like Spider-Man, Daredevil, everything. So yeah, I was really deep into the Marvel lore, like, you know, before adulting came in, and I had to just become very like specific to DC. I love DC Comics. I love all things DC. But when I first started going to the comic book store, there was one not like about 20 blocks from where I live, a local comic shop, which is they're extinct for the most part now. And I would just go there. I'll take a short walk. You know, I was probably like 11, 12 years old, and just pick up the prettiest covers, right? If you had like the Iron Man cover where it's like a silver foil, the Fatal Attractions cover with the hologram card, I'll just pick these up and read them and get most of my storylines from the cartoons and Wizard Magazine and things like that. But then, you know, when I started going to high school, that was in downtown or Midtown. And that's when I came across Jim Henley's Universe, which was like the first like big store that I saw. It was a comic book, like a major store, not like a little like, you know, square. It was like a major store. So I just started frequenting that like every Friday, picking up my Fantastic Four, my Nightwing comics. And then eventually Ches, you know, was, you know, of high school age. So I brought him along with me because he went to the same high school. And that's a little bit of an origin there.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly how Rod said, he essentially pretty much gave me my first comic books from his own collection.
Wow.
And that's what got me into comic books. And then we went to the same alma mater, and he introduced me to Jim Henley's Universe, which blew my mind. It was like I walked into like a better version of Six Flags. Like, it was like, fuck a theme park, I'm home type shit. You know what I mean? And from there, like, I find myself just going through like the back issue bins for no reason. I shit you not. I stood in Jim Henley's Universe. I can say like I stole a story in my mind. I stood in that store and I read all of what was it? Archer's Quest. I read all of Archer's Quest while standing in the store, and then I left.
Those were the days that you could actually do that, man. And now people don't even think to do it because, man, kids these days,
they don't even know.
They have it so easy. No.
Dude. Talk about like black market pirating shit, like downloading, just read it and walk out.
Yeah, man. Like, I mean, you discover a character, and like, you didn't have the internet, you didn't have Wikipedia. All you had were your trading cards or like the issue you had before you. That's it. There was no way you had to buy a handbook or something. So I'm with you, man. I love that, and I love the idea. And I learned this when I was going to auctioneering college. There's a lot of like auctioneers that are legacy auctioneers that they inherited that from their, dad or their grandpa or their grandmother. It's the same with comic book fans. My little brother is a huge comic book fan because I imbued him with that passion. And now you guys, because of your friendship, he introduced you. That's how a lot of comic book fans begin.
I'm essentially kind of like a legacy fan in a way.
I love that.
Quick correction, like Rod didn't introduce me to comics, but he helped to reignite my love for comic books. Oh, look at that Jean Grey right there.
And that's based off of record.
Yeah. All-time, favorite Jean Grey image. I got this calendar recently for 20.
Oh my God.
And I remember I bought this comic book that was just, pinups. It was just like a comic book of just pinups, and they had that image of
that
image.
Look at that right there,
I had that one page. Nice.
That's epic. That's epic.
I had that one page in like a little plastic slip case. I'm just looking at her like in love with Jean Grey, man. I feel you on that.
Which, by the way,
thank you.
Isn't that the same look that she had in the ultra famous cartoon from the 90s, right? That's like the gold standard Jean Grey look, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, in the animated series, she had a ponytail, and the reason she had a ponytail, the Lee Waltz told us, was because she was supposed to be the girl next door that everyone could talk to, and it just made her really accessible. Yeah. The designs changed in their last season, and they gave her like the 90s, the traditional 90s look with her hair down. But yeah, that's her hallmark look, and I love it. I don't know why they put her back in her 60s outfit now, but
Yeah, not loving that little just green dress and like the short. Like I was like, okay,
it's
why?
Just not practical. I don't get it. And it's weird looking on screen. And I get it if you're following the theme from Phoenix Resurrection. That's just Jean now, no Phoenix. But X-Men Red, she had a kick-ass costume, and
exactly,
I loved it. And they had it in giant size X-Men with Dodderman. He rendered it, and it looked beautiful. Yes.
So. So I think, speaking of Jean Grey, I think we can now. It's time to get into Enter the Phoenix.
Woo!
So for the fans out there, right? So Avengers has been having this big event that started at the end of December. 3 issues in so far. It's not a culmination, but it's the next big event by Jason Aaron and Javier Garron, who've been, Jason Aaron and Javier Garron, and I think Ed McGuinness have been the main people leading the Avengers book. And so now it leads to this. And so exactly, we wanted to have the X-Men expert, the guy with the doctorate in all things X-Men. And
exactly,
as he said it here, Jean Grey stan, supreme, to tell us how do we all, because there's things we have to discuss the actual event, try to be as subjective as we can, but also like there's feelings as X-Men fans about the Avengers tackling on the Phoenix again, all by themselves, right? Like with Wolverine's there, but like
being a bit of a dick, mind you.
Mm-hmm. I thought Wolverine was the voice of reason in this.
Wow, how many times does that get said?
I was just like, yeah, fuck yeah, Wolverine. Fuck the Avengers now with the Phoenix. Wait, can I cuss on this? I can cuss on this, right?
We encourage it. We encourage it.
Fucking Avengers, like fucking Captain America now being like, oh, I'm always the guy who gets beaten down because I'm still the same guy who's 90 pounds growing up. Like, fuck you. You threw a shield at Scott Summers' head during AVX, and that could have killed our boy. Like, you don't go to Scott Summers' lawn and pick a fight.
Wait, didn't he fire first? I think Scott
fine.
First.
Okay, fine.
But it is a vibranium shield, though. Like, come on, Cyclops concussive blast. Like, I don't know.
I just threw up that panel on our little chat like a few days ago of like that massive optic blast that he gives Captain America.
Yeah, I mean he does. He look, he does. But in fairness, Captain America came to his lawn and was starting shit. Like, can you imagine your species is on the brink of extinction. The one thing that you know is going to bring it back, the Phoenix, and all of a sudden now the Avengers care about it. Like, where were you when Rachel Summers was there? When Tony Stark's like, oh, we've been monitoring the Phoenix since the Jean Grey event, Dark Phoenix. And it's like, sis,
right?
Like, have you not been? How hard have you been looking? Like, the Phoenix has not gone away. Like, where was it? Rachel Summers, Madeline Pryor, Morrison. You know what I mean? Like,
because let's speak the truth. They didn't care. They're like, it seems to be focused within the X-Men. If it gets out of hand, we'll deal with it. And so they don't care. And now, right, for this story, for those people, just to set it up, the story is that the Phoenix is back. It's back on Earth and it's searching for a new host, right? After, the Phoenix was heartbroken by Jean Grey telling her to go fuck off, and a little backstory to that, the Phoenix supposedly is back on Earth because Namor called her back to Earth, because as we all know, as we mentioned before, Namor was one of the 5 who had the Phoenix in the AVX storyline. Yeah. And so apparently he still had some connection with the Phoenix Force and called it back.
Which is new. And look, like, I love that. Like, that was not been mentioned. But look, I haven't been following. Well, no, I have been following Namor, like, since, AVX, and not mentioned. You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden now but by the way, wait, I'm sorry. Let me go back, because I do want to be objective about this and say, I thought the narrative. Wait. Do you guys want me to jump around, or or follow your script?
Whatever you want.
Okay. Up to you. But a quick side note: Namor is the king of dicks.
Oh yeah, he's an opportunist, man. Like, he's just gonna go and, like, service his own. I feel like the narrative about him killing the shark, and his mom and all that was very heartfelt. And what was motivating him and wanting, like, he's the last stand between his society and the rest of the planet. And I appreciate that. But that means that, come on, man. Like, now you care about, like, the fucking Phoenix Force? It's just like, no, sorry, not buying it. And Wolverine, to the earlier point, Wolverine being the voice of logic, he was the one who said, like, the Avengers are not taking the Phoenix. You've taken enough from the mutants. Oh, what has gone on with the mutants? Wanda and Pietro, no longer mutants, right? They're human mutates. Franklin Richards has been retconned to not being a mutant. And now they want to take the Phoenix? Like, no, sorry. Thank you, next.
It's almost kind of like he was breaking the fourth wall when he was saying that in a way.
Oh, yeah. And then when he was here, like, to Valkyrie, Jane Foster Valkyrie, when he was here, like, aren't you the lady who stole Thor's hammer and name? I was like, wow, man. Like, Wolverine. I'm like, I wasn't even comfortable reading that. Wolverine, I can't believe you did that.
Like,
because I love Jane Foster's Thor. Yeah.
Like, that was petty.
Honestly, I love that. I do think I love when Wolverine called, because he's fucking calling it as it is, right? He didn't lie. It's all true, right? And so I do think the Phoenix deserves to be within the mutants, within the X-Men. But apparently, like, so as we know, when the event ends, they rumor there's going to be a new host. And that's going to change things up. It's going to lead to the Heroes Reborn storyline too, which I don't know. Like, we reviewed this a little bit in the last of an episode or so ago. We're not excited about that, but for this event right now, right? So now the Phoenix chose a bunch of random people, right? Key Avengers and random people to
seemingly
basically
random.
So
Howard the Duck. It's random.
We don't know the workings of how this shit is going down. We don't know. We don't know how this is going. You got Howard the Duck. You have fucking Black Panther. You have She-Hulk. You don't know what Black Knight is in this shit. You don't know what's going down.
Yeah. So wait. We have American Eagle. We have Black Panther, Captain America, Shang-Chi, Hulk, Black Knight.
Moon Girl. Isn't she in the room? No.
Yeah, she was. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. The Orb. Shadow of the She-Devil. Hyperion. Valkyrie. Wolverine. Doom. And I think that's Nighthawk. Oh, Man-Thing. There we go. Luke Cage.
They need to make that whole shit into a super team and just print that.
And we got also the Red Widow, which is the other.
Yeah. That's right. You're right. Red Widow was there. Yeah.
Right.
I don't. The thing is, here's the thing. So it's like a Phoenix combat. Like Shang-Chi, the movie, is going to be dealing with that kind of like tournament style, storytelling. Mortal Kombat we have coming out this year, and I'm a huge Mortal Kombat stan. Like, fuck, man, I'm so excited for that. But now we have to have Phoenix Mortal Kombat. I'm like,
I'm down for that. Bring
yeah,
on the
cool.
Kumite at all times.
Phoenix Mortal Kombat. Wait, a quick question before it slips my mind. Who retconned Franklin being a mutant?
It was in the Dan Slott recent Fantastic Four. And little sidebar, I kind of said something sassy on, I don't know if it was my personal account or the official, Generations of X account, but he did write back and you're like, listen, I know you were just trying to be funny, but please don't do that. It sends hate my way. So,
what? And
Dan Slott. I'm gonna throw a picture of us with Dan Slott right now.
I don't want to send. I think Dan Slott is a great writer. I don't want to send anything his way. I don't like that Franklin isn't a mutant, but especially since
we have to know, what did you say to him? I
don't think I said anything. I was just like, what did I say? It must have been something because we had the Fantastic Four X-Men mini that came to an end right before the pandemic, and I was like, well, that's like $30 down the drain, like for something that was sort of like Franklin was he was identified as an Omega level mutant. He was at the epicenter of that crossover, and people were excited to see Franklin on Krakoa. And for your listeners who don't know, Krakoa is where the X-Men live now. Only mutants can go there. So Reed and Sue cannot go there with him. He had to be taken away from the Fantastic Four to go to Krakoa. And it was just it's been a story that's been marinating for a while. And then all of a sudden you're like, he's not a mutant. And you're like, fuck, man. Like, I mean, do you remember those promos of Franklin in the 80s being like, it's 1987. Yes. Do you know what your child is? It's great. It's part of the lore. But anyway, that could be a separate episode.
Yeah.
But Dan Slott's a great writer. Dan Slott, great writer. Do not send hate his way.
No, and exactly, and like Rod, he showed a photo a minute ago. We're gonna see it in the show, but like exactly, Rod and I, we love Dan Slott. I
do too.
Spider-Man is my favorite fucking character, and I loved Dan Slott's run on Spider-Man. Like, we went to see the man, we shook his hand when we could do that a few years ago. But I'm not gonna lie, both Rod and I were big Fantastic Four fans. Like, I love the Fantastic Four, and I'm not loving his Fantastic Four run. It's okay. I'm not loving it. And now that you do this, it's also, especially after that storyline about the Fantastic Four X-Men book, it literally ends with him in Krakoa and kind of like indicate like, oh shit, all right, cool, this is gonna be really interesting for both books, no? Like, and then it's like, oh no, never mind, that was all a joke. Forget about it.
Well, I don't want to throw hate at a writer because I do freelance write myself, and you're playing in someone else's sandbox. You're figuring out how to like tell a story. My thing is, where is brand management? You know what I mean? Because even in this story, the way Enter the Phoenix ends right now, I'm just really, you know what I mean? I was like, really?
And you kind of like bring up a factor that I had a question about. So Dan Slott retconned that whole concept about Franklin Richards. Now, when a writer does something like that, are there like inherent boundaries to what can be retconned? Do writers have like, what's the term, like carte blanche to just do whatever they want? Or is there, like you said, like brand management is like, whoa, buddy?
Yeah, I don't know what kind of sovereignty they have in the editorial office. I did work at Marvel when I graduated from college. But I was in.
That's awesome!
Left that out, did you? Okay.
I was in their custom publishing division, so not as cool as editorial. But look, man, it was fucking awesome. Amtrak would come to us and they would say, we want a comic book with the Fantastic Four, or Office Max would be like, give us Spider-Man. I think I swapped those. I think it was Office Max and the Fantastic Four, but it's. There was a lot of approval. And speaking of DC, actually, Rod, I almost got a job in editorial at DC. Whoa. And I was just waiting on the offer letter. This was right before they moved to, spoilers, they would move to their offices to Burbank, and they would shut down the New York office in a significant way. I don't know if they fully shut down, but the position I was going to get literally got terminated before it was offered to me. So you sit down, and the way you're supposed to edit comic books is, would this character do that? So to give you an example, there was a children's book with the Flash. This was part of like my editorial test with DC. And they were like, proofread, edit these pages. And I circled, like the Flash going kind of like this, because it looks like the Flash is hitchhiking. And you can't have the world's fastest man hitchhiking. Yeah. And that was actually one of the things they were looking for that was deliberately put in there. So,
oh, wow.
That's what when I'm seeing. So when you're asking, like Chaz, when you're asking about like what level of jurisdiction and sovereignty do these writers have, I would imagine at the end of the day, they can come in with whatever ideas they have, but this is where editorial and brand management comes in, and they're like, don't do something like that. So I am baffled by Dan Slott's, retcon, and not because it was poorly written, but because it was allowed. Fans. It was allowed. Like, why would you let that go through editorial and think that the fans will be happy? Yeah. Is there a larger story going on there with Marvel wanting to compartmentalize their brands?
Exactly. And actually with that, exactly, because that's super interesting about how the inner workings, of Marvel fucking work, right? Because exactly, the editors are in charge of helping navigate certain things, but obviously there's different decisions. I remember reading an interview by Jonathan Hickman about how when he found out that happened, right? That he was like, yes, we weren't expecting it. He's like, we were kind of thinking about it like he's gonna be a mutant, but he's like, but that happens. He's like, we got the call from the editor, that's what's gonna happen. Dan Slott, and he's like, nothing wrong with Dan Slott, but that's the story he's telling. All right, and then he has to adapt, right? And then he's saying, but that's what happens when working with such a big fucking universe with so many different writers. And it's like,
I agree. Again, it's just so shocking because Hickman got there first. And you would think that like, hey, we've already carved out that narrative for Franklin. And when we spoke with Cena Grace, he walked us through that when he was, writing Iceman, he wasn't allowed to use certain characters because, and these are his words. He was here like, Emma Frost is busy doing something else. So that's what I don't. My big question mark for what has been going on with editorial, like the actual weekly editorials, is how much do everyone communicates? And I don't know what the answer to that is, because I've worked at larger publishing houses. I get it. They're like 30 editors. It's impossible to get everyone on the same umbrella.
Very true.
Isn't there like a publisher or someone who's sort of overseeing everything and has an idea of the larger picture? I don't know.
And it's probably on Zoom now, right? Like whereas before they'd meet in a big room and like flesh out the storylines. But I'm kind of mad though, because in the first X-Men issue by Jonathan Hickman, I think that's when he confronts Reed, right? Because Reed wants to take Sabretooth or something like that. Yeah. And had that standoff. And then as Scott walks away, he's like, hey, Franklin, if you ever want to play, come chill with me, whatever. I thought that was really cool. And retconning Franklin being not being a mutant kind of, I don't know, steps on that really cool scene.
No, and exactly, that's the thing that kind of did hurt, right? Because it's exactly at the dawn of X, right? Boom, it's in the first fucking issue. This is happening, and then we have this mini event between the two books, and it kind of leads to that. And then all of a sudden, like Dan's like, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I'm right now, and obviously, we're not giving hate. This is constructive criticism. Everybody's and we can critique art, because obviously, I'm a Dan Slott fan. I love it. Also, the same way I'm a Jason Aaron fan. I've loved Jason Aaron's work, especially his Thor run.
Such a great run.
I'm not loving his Avengers run that much, and the Enter the Phoenix event is like, okay, all right. So bringing it back home to Enter the Phoenix, right? So I do think, because Rod, it seems that you haven't read the books yet, right? So you're okay with spoilers. we're gonna drop.
Do it.
Spoiler. Right, because so a big thing with this Avengers book is that they're connecting it with the idea that he started about the Avengers from a billion BC.
I remember that promo shit. It was funky.
Which is kind of cool in a way. Like, I would love to have the action figures for that, right? Because it's like fucking like Odin is like, the Thor of that day, right? And we got the first Black Panther. We have Agamotto as fucking like the Ghost Rider Supreme,
on a mammoth, if I'm not fucking mistaken.
Which is dope. Yes, and we have. I want to get Dayspring's thoughts on what seems to be one of the first mutants, which is a very, very Jean Grey looking mutant who's a Phoenix host, from back in those days, and then that has to connect somehow with this storyline because apparently they become Avengers. Like in a billion BC.
Wasn't it like 10,000 BC or some wild number like that?
No, it's like a billion BC, no? Like something like that. Yeah, like something crazy, like in the past. And now, with the Phoenix is back, it's fucking doing all this shit, having people fight each other, very Dragon Ball Z contest kind of thing. And then we find out that the Phoenix manifests itself again as this Jean Grey cave woman. To reveal,
that's the image. That's the image.
That is exactly that is the image. Image will be up right now here, so we'll see. And that she reveals that she is Thor's mother.
Oh.
That means that Odin had sex with the Phoenix Force. That might be like the first time. No, I mean, now that came out, it's not the first time someone said that sentence, but it's one of the few times that sentence has ever been said.
Yeah.
To be honest, only he could probably. If somebody's gonna make sweet love to the Phoenix, it's
if
Odin.
someone's gonna bang the Phoenix Force.
Well, Cyclops did too. Cyclops did in Dark Phoenix.
That's a good point.
They had sex on a plateau in New Mexico.
Apparently, the Phoenix Force only likes alpha males. Alphas of the alpha.
I don't know. Cyclops is maybe a leader, but I think he's probably submissive in other parts of his life.
I can definitely see the reasoning for that.
I can see that. I can
definitely see the reasoning.
But with Cave Woman Phoenix, I read some sort of like the built up to Enter the Phoenix, and they do have a back issue with the baby cave woman Phoenix being born, and she grows up and she meets a Cyclops baby literally on the nose, and I'm just like, look, earlier on in this you made it a point to say that Jean was not going to be part of it, right? We have the scene where Jean tells Logan, I feel it in my bones, the Phoenix is coming, not for me, for someone else. First of all, that's horrible characterization for Jean Grey, because Jean Grey is a hero. She's the only one with knowledge, firsthand knowledge with the Phoenix. Her and Rachel and a bunch of other people. She would be at the forefront.
And actually, that's a great point, is because that feels like they're shitting on Tom Taylor's awesome X-Men Red Run, where Jean Grey comes back, right, and her first act is like, nah, man, I'm gonna be active, I'm gonna be out there, I gotta save people, I'm a hero, like really take, and exactly the fucking Phoenix, a big ass power of fucking force of destruction and creation. Nah, all right. Well, good luck to that random person.
Enjoy.
I didn't really like that. And look, if you don't want to do a Jean Grey and the Phoenix story again, which I understand, then don't fucking have a character with red hair holding a baby Cyclops. That is like so fucking on the nose. Like just move it along. Like do a story, do that one line to write her out of it, and then just divorce yourself from Jean. So I would just want them to, I still don't know the answer to this, and maybe, Miguel, you do. I don't know why so many Phoenix hosts now have red hair. This started in AVX with Iron Fist and finding out that the Iron Fist has ties to the Phoenix, and there was a Phoenix wielder who could also do the Iron Fist, and obviously that plays out a little later with Hope. But this is another character who predates Jean, who's an avatar for the Phoenix, and has red hair and green eyes. And obviously Hope as well. Like, just connect the dots for me. As a stupid reader, just connect the dots for me. And that's the only thing I want out of this story with Jason Aaron. But
apparently the Phoenix Force is a ginger.
Yeah, it's naturally a ginger.
It comes down to that, exactly. Well, actually, and with that, we're speaking of that, because I have no idea exactly why the Phoenix has an affinity for the redheads, right? Like, I'm not really sure. We'll see what Jason Aaron tries to explain. One thing I'm not loving though about this run is like, so there's good and bad things, right? So for this, as we were telling to the fans, right, a lot of random people, mostly Avengers and some other people, were giving a piece of the Phoenix Force, right? And then it gives them some upgrade, quote unquote, of like costumes and looks and shit, and some are kind of cool, some are not really. But some of those that I'm a little bit confused about is speaking about the hair. Like, for example, why do some of them, their hair changes specifically? Namor goes blonde. And it looks weird. I just don't like what's happening here.
I don't know if you read my like insomniac driven Instagram rant where I was just like, why does Namor have boy band hair when he's supposed to be a cosmic threat? I don't get that at all. And I think some of them look really great, like T'Challa.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Fuck, man, what a boss.
My personal favorite Phoenix transformation, I would say, would have to be Luke Cage.
Oh, really?
That I enjoyed that. That's right. It was a tribute to the old costume.
Yeah. With the Phoenix
awesome.
tiara.
Yeah. That was amazing. That was amazing. And I also love the fact that Captain America kind of looks like a baby Gundam.
Good point.
I mean,
Man, I loved all of the transformations to the point that like I would want like a live action like whole feature of this to be made by who's the dude that made the shitty Batman movies? Schumacher.
Joel Schumacher. He's dead.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
R.I.P. Joel Schumacher. But I'm gonna
no. Phoenix has to come back, bring Schumacher back to life, and then get
that's perfect.
And then make its own movie, just because I want to see those giant toy people.
Yeah,
I thought Shang-Chi's look looked very much like Robert Kirkman's Invincible, the black hair with the gold costume. It just really popped. It popped on panel for me, and I love that combination of a character with like black hair and having a yellow costume because it just looks beautiful on screen. Or on panel in this case.
Yeah. No, and exactly. And with that begs the question. So, right. So, well, actually, first of all, we didn't get into this. What do you guys think about the Phoenix Force being Thor's mom? Like, what is you? All right, I'm with it.
I'm down for Odin banging the Phoenix Force. I want to see that flashback. I want to see Odin courting the Phoenix Force. I want to see how that played out. And I just want to know is like, so did he lie to Freya? Like, what was that about? You know what I mean? Like, is Freya like the new Hera?
No, I think it's always been assumed that Freya is the adopted mother of Thor.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I think that's always been I think that's always been established. So there's always been a mystery, I think, about who Thor's mom might be. I have to fact check this, but I remember something about that, especially in the last, because I think if anything, Jason Aaron was setting that up in his Thor run, because I remember there's moments where they speak, like where Freya says, like, you're my son. I don't care if you're not like actually my son, but like you're my son. And so there is something there. All right, but so Dayspring, Rod, what do you guys think about Thor being, his mom's the Phoenix? What do you think, Dayspring?
Sure. Why not? Why not?
It's Thor.
I don't know what to say. I mean, what does that mean? I mean, first of all, like Angela, who is, Odin's son, from the Spawnverse now in the Marvel universe, he has that going on. Now we have Odin and the Phoenix, and now Thor is. I don't get it. I just don't get it. And I guess when you're reading this, Thor keeps saying, I have so much experience with the Phoenix and all that. And it's not, again, like I just want to say the actual writing by Jason Aaron is not bad. You're reading the story. When you come to that conclusion, you're like, oh, that makes sense. Something would have happened with Thor because they've been building up to that. And this is a breaking point and the seeds have been planted. I don't like the implications with that, man. Like, what? Like, and what does that mean if you're a Phoenix like holder or Phoenix avatar? Like, are Thor and Jean now like kindred siblings? I don't know.
Hold on, guys. I'm a little confused. So we're talking about the redhead cave woman and the Phoenix. They're not one and the same, right? They're two different beings.
Well,
so Odin had sex with the cave lady or the Force in the cave lady?
So the cave lady is only known as Lady Phoenix in this run. I think she gets like a nickname. I wrote it down here. Let me see what her nicknames are.
I'm gonna choose to believe that Odin had sex with a giant flaming cosmic bird.
That's what I'm imagining.
Yeah, he's not.
I don't know because the thing is in those because right in this prelude stories to this like right so because supposedly this redhead cave woman is a mutant and they're being shunned as cave people and then the Phoenix Force arrives and becomes joins forces with her and then they have adventures and shit and become the Avengers from back in the day with Odin and. But we don't know exactly. Did he have sex with a cave woman possessed Phoenix person kind of thing, and then led the Thor, or was it with the actual bird itself? Yep. Because Thor encounters the Phoenix Force in the Asgard Shi'ar War, which is written by Jason Aaron, which is a dope book, which is actually led by Jane Foster Thor, and it has Odin's son, and it's a whole big mess but they fight the Phoenix, so the actual fucking Phoenix Force.
So if I read it as he had sex with the human possessed by the Phoenix in the same way that Cyclops did with Jean in the Days of Future Past timeline, and they had Rachel Summers.
Agreed.
So
yeah,
that's kind of like how Odin just happens to be a god. So again, one question, does that make, Jean and Thor like spiritual siblings? The second one, does that mean Thor is like Rachel and now he can tap into the Phoenix like his mother?
Oh,
I don't know. Are we going to see, like, is he going to be the Avatar in the end? Is he going to be imbued with the Phoenix Force?
Oh, Jason Aaron, are you listening right now? Take note. We have good questions.
That's so again, because Rachel is the son of Phoenix and Cyclops from Days of Future Past, and she naturally can access the Phoenix Force.
And actually, with that brings us back to the whole editorial stuff about what's happening, right? Because obviously, right now, Thor is being written by Donny Cates, and also, it's actually a pretty fucking cool run. I'm enjoying it a lot, and he's taking the Thor where Jason Aaron left it further and getting more cosmic and more because at the end of Jason Aaron's Thor run, Thor is now the All-Father. Odin steps down and he's the All-Father, and he's really dealing with that kind of stuff. Like, I'm assuming if that's going to be the case, Jason Aaron has to communicate with Donny Cates about like, all right, I'm going to throw this at you. Thor is going to be the next Phoenix host or something. But Thor's not in the tournament though, so supposedly one of the tournament people is going to be the Phoenix.
Does it have to be the tournament people? Okay, sure. I mean, sure.
We're gonna end with Phoenix, Black Panther versus Thor. Some crazy shit is gonna happen, and then we're gonna end up with Thor, Phoenix Sun.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question. So where can fans read this 1 million BC Avengers? Because I'm sold. Is it a mini or is it an ongoing?
I think it was a mini from a while back.
So it's actually both. So when I think after Secret War, no, I don't remember when, but they came out with the Avenger or their like Legacy, Marvel Legacy book. That's where they introduced them officially. But to really read about them is in the Jason Aaron Avengers run. And you kind of have to read the whole run because it's like in it, randomly, like, because like the first story starts like about the Celestials and Loki, then there's another arc about Namor, and there's another arc about, I don't remember what it was the next one. Oh, then the Age of Khonshu, which is actually kind of fun with Moon Knight. Actually, Moon Knight was the host of the Phoenix for a hot second and beat up the fucking Avengers. It was actually kind of fun to watch. But they mentioned that Avengers BC, so you really have to read the whole Aaron Avengers run to get to that. And speaking of that, like, I think what's kind of cool about that, what I've enjoyed about the Enter the Phoenix event is I feel like it's like fucking 90s, Miguel, fucking, teenager Miguel. I feel like I have my action figures and I'm fighting and I'm playing with them. I'm like, that's kind of fun. Like, it's visually cool.
The art was amazing. With you. The art was amazing. And, like, any, like, neuroses picking things apart here. It's just because I'm a crazy Jean Grey fan. But, like, objectively, it's not. Here's the thing. Objectively, I didn't think it was a bad story. I was shocked at how great the narration was and how great the character development was and how these characters each have their own motives. So it's not by any means poorly written. I'm just like, as a crazy Jean Grey fan, like, why does this story need to be told? And why are there so many plot holes here? So I'm with you, man. I think it's a fun story. It is fun.
No, right, because what you're saying, because that's the biggest issue for me with this. It's like, all right, if you're gonna do it, all right, I'm gonna trust you, Jason, but like, this has a lot of history, man. There's so much fucking history, so you can't ignore it or just like fucking do some whatever Deus Ex Machina thing to just make it make sense. And that's why, like, no, give me a really good narrative, especially with the fucking hypocrisy from ABX, right? It's like, you had issues with fucking the X-Men trying to control the Phoenix, but now you're like, all right, fuck it, we'll figure it out ourselves. Like,
but I'm glad. I forgot who was the one who said it, but they were like, all this is going to do is lead to the Avengers versus the Phoenix again. And I was like, fuck yeah, like that's exactly it. But again, if I were the Avengers and I'm at Avengers Mountain and I'm monitoring, the Phoenix and what it's doing, I just think from an Intel basic 101, like you would bring in Jean Grey, Rachel Summers, the Phoenix 5 to examine what is going on here. And that's a little leap that I couldn't make. And I get it. There was that line where they said, we're keeping all telepaths away for their own safety.
Yeah.
Boom. Beautiful. Again,
good.
Masterful. Yeah. But bring Jean in on Zoom. You know what I mean? Like give us a debriefing here. Like, I just don't those are like the little nitpicks. And like, I get it. You want to tell story. You can't have every character there. And, there are characters like Shang-Chi who are now going to be major players in the Marvel universe or Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I understand and love that he's there. I thought he looked boss in that costume. He looked great in his costume, and the way he was just meditating there with Hyperion. Like,
that was my favorite match.
Yeah,
that was my favorite match.
Fucking badass there. And I'm not going to be one of those comic book people when the Shang-Chi movie comes out. I'm like, wow, I know everything about him. I actually don't know much about Shang-Chi. And now it was such a pleasure to be reading his story and seeing that representation on panel. But, at the same token, I feel like the story is forced, having like sort of like these major play. I love Doom in it. Yes. I thought Doom was great when Doom was like, yo, like Phoenix, whatever you're like looking for.
I'm not the one. I'm out. Like,
and that's like Jason Aaron just understands these characters because Doom is never this guy who's here like, hey, I'm going to torch the earth. Fuck everything. Like Doom has an agenda behind everything he does. And we saw that.
Like, it doesn't get more Doom than that, right? Because Doom at the beginning is like, all right, we're gonna do great things with this power, and then he figures it out. He's like, oh, I see what you're doing. Now I'm out. Yeah. Doom forfeits. I'm out, and he's out. And I love that the Phoenix isn't like, no, you have to fight. No, the Phoenix is like, okay, bye. Good, sorry.
She's like, thank you, next. Like, I want Steve Rock. The Phoenix is a stan of Chris Evans. Like, I get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine.
There's like two quick points that I wanted to make. I was telling this to Miguel before we started recording that I actually was gonna come at the both of you, and you, Dayspring, because unfortunately, you guys are too vested as Marvel fans. So you guys like the story, but you guys have your hangups. I read these 3 issues completely out of context, and I was like, yeah, tournament. Everybody's a Super Saiyan. There's an Avengers Mountain. Like, what? Okay.
But that's because it's not bad. Again, it's not a badly written story, and it's a fun story. And it's exactly what Miguel said. It's like you're sitting down with your toys and playing. Right. It's a great story. That's right. But you like it fucking read right there. Like, you're just spilling the tea there, man. Like, yeah, I got my hangups. And what?
Like,
Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey.
I'm sorry for the both of you because that shit was like, I don't care. This was awesome. I'll take the Mortal Kombat Avengers Phoenix Force event, whatever the case it is.
And to be honest, I'm a little bit jealous of you, because I remember when we spoke off screen about this, because I did feel like you're right, because I do have the same thing as you, Dayspring. All these fucking nuances, all these hangouts, my connection to the X-Men. I'm like, I feel personal, and like Chaz is just enjoying it for what it is.
Word. It was just a water slide for me. Like, and then also my second point was, and I'm sure that Rod is gonna appreciate it because he'll read the books eventually. This is gonna it's gonna sound stupid, but props to Hyperion. The man literally chose to be closed-minded and gave up the Phoenix Force on conviction. He literally said, like, I can't be minded, and then lost.
It was that again. That was such a great scene. It was the best. It's one of the best scenes there of all of the fights we saw.
Right, exactly. For the fans out there, Dayspring, do you want to walk us through like what happened? What did Hyperion go through?
Well, so I think the implication is that when the Phoenix, you guys can probably help me with this because it was a little murky for me. So traditionally, when the Phoenix possesses a host, they now become telepaths, right? And they can like feel it, they can hear thoughts, everything. And so they have this rapport with the Phoenix and whispering it. And Hyperion like really closed himself off from it and like just like falls down before Shang-Chi, who's just meditating there and doing the opposite and just like inhaling all of it and focusing it. So
yeah, this reminds me like a little bit of, I think it's kind of like almost similar-ish to the power cosmic that Galactus can imbue the people that like for Silver Surfer, he has like fucking consciousness across the fucking omniverse, you know, kind of thing. Like
that's such a great word.
So with the yeah, and so like with the Phoenix, it's exactly like it's the telepaths are enhanced, and they have this almost cosmic type of awareness, which is too much for closed-minded Hyperion.
Exactly, like he's such a fucking narcissist that he turns down cosmic awareness. He's like, wait, it's not about me.
Yeah, like good. No, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, when you say cosmic awareness, though, I think of Ultimate Alliance, where you had to like play a Silver Surfer, you could play a Silver Surfer, and you had to like put in stats and points for his cosmic awareness.
Yes.
Oh, like, I love that. Yeah, no, but I don't know too much about Hyperion. I didn't know he was such a narcissist. Again, it was just what I took from the scene was a contrast of someone like Shang-Chi and then Hyperion, and one is very ego driven, the other one is selfless. So I mean, sure. I'm here for the ride.
See, I'm telling you, man, if you just give up everything that came before it, just don't care about it, just embrace it in all its grandeur, it's an amazing experience.
But I love that Wolverine thinks he knows about the White Hot Room, and he's here like, we're in the White Hot Room, blah, blah, blah. And he gives whatever explanation he did. And I'm just like, sis, listen, go have your beer, go have your Bud Light. Like, it's Bub Light. I guess because of natural proxy to Jean, he would know about it, but I don't know. Again, exactly. That's where I think you need.
That's what I was thinking. Like I mean, like probably like all that, like Phoenix pillow talk.
Well, yeah. Well, you do know they're having like a threesome on Krakoa, Wolverine and Cyclops. So yeah, Jean's there talking about like the Phoenix and the White Room, and the boys are like, we just want to have sex. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, now here we go again. All right, yes, we're the Phoenixes. All right,
we get it, Jean. You were the Phoenix. You were in the White Hot Room. Shh, But it's interesting to see where those characters, have gone, especially recently, and Wolverine and him being closer and them confirming a relationship with Jean. So I think it makes sense that he would know. As I'm talking out loud, I'm just talking out loud right now.
Right. All right. And I think now the burning question, no pun intended, but before we wrap up, is like, all right, so who are your guys' bets on who do you think out of those who are in the tournament, who will be the Phoenix? Like, who do you guys think?
Let me look at everyone who's there and where we left off.
All right, just to throw out a reminder, because I'm going to mention those who are still there, right? Because I think we have Jane Foster, Valkyrie. We have I'm looking at an image
still there, isn't it?
She-Hulk, she's still there, exactly. Black Panther, Captain America, American Eagle,
Black Knight.
She-Devil, Black Knight, Namor, of course. Wolverine's there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are the only ones. Oh, and Shang-Chi and Red Widow. I think those are the only ones that remain.
I'm going Cap.
Damn.
Wow. I'm such a pessimist right now. I'm thinking of like what would serve the movies in the future.
Captain Phoenix.
Shang-Chi. T'Challa Black Panther looked boss. I mean, I love that look. I think Chaz, is what you said, that he's going to be imbued with the Phoenix. I think Thor's going to get the Phoenix at the end of this run somehow. Like, whoever it goes to, let's say it's Captain America or Black Panther, Thor is going to be like Phoenix imbued in some way. So I'm going to say Thor, even though I acknowledge he's not in the tournament. But in the tournament, I'm going to say Black Panther.
All right. No. But Thor, you're right. We'll allow As long as you can reason it, we're allowed.
Okay. Okay. So Thor's my answer.
And Rod, you said Shang-Chi. Rod?
He may.
Oh,
can you
Did
hear
he
us?
freeze?
We might have had technical difficulties. It tends to happen sometimes. Like I don't
I
think
saw him
Rod's
blink.
And that is the beauty of working with Zoom.
I
Oh,
know,
man.
exactly. So I think Rod said Shang-Chi, but he's muted and he's not talking, I guess. So, but yes, I for me, I think I would have to say, I was thinking Shang-Chi as well because of the MCU, you know, and what's coming up with that. But I'm torn between that with Shang-Chi and Jane Foster's Valkyrie. Just
She's
because
great.
I know Jason Aaron has a soft spot for her.
Yeah,
you know, like
you're right.
Jason Aaron's like really taking her through an adventure, becoming Thor and then becoming Valkyrie and like co-writing the Valkyrie book. And so that makes me think that might be because it's either one of those two, because like neither one of them is going to be hugely repercussions to the MCU. I mean, to the Marvel, you know, proper books, you know, because they can just go away into space and nobody's going to really... Nobody gonna care. But Shang-Chi, I think, might work in terms of like the movies and giving him more attention. But if I have to pick, I'm gonna go with Shang-Chi. I think it's gonna be him.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree. I think whatever is going to service the MCU in the future, because we know Kevin Feige now has a say in editorial with the books. So let's see, on top of Marvel Studios. So let's see.
Oh, word.
And part of the reason why I'm also gonna give Miguel some credit, because you also said Shang-Chi as well, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm giving that some credit because of the fucking failure that Iron Fist was. They need to make up for a powerful, like, martial artist, Eastern culture base hero, and not be a blonde white boy. So they're gonna give the Phoenix Force to Shang-Chi and put him on a cosmic level. Like, yeah, we're sorry about that whole thing.
Even beyond representation, which was such a missed opportunity for the Netflix heroes. Finn Jones, what the heck? Like, he's naturally a hippie, you know, movie star. Like, he couldn't translate that in the way Robert Downey Jr. did that for Iron Man. So on top of it being offensive, it was just poorly written. And it was by Scott Buck or Buick, whatever, Scott Buck, let's say Scott Buck, who did one of the seasons in Dexter and did the Inhumans. Yeah. And, you know, I was like, the Inhumans that, you know, was supposed to be the MCU's answer to the mutants a couple of years ago. It was just so bad. Like, Iron Fist was awful.
Yeah. But hey, hopefully Shang-Chi will make up for that.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited. Shang-Chi is probably the character I'm most excited for the MCU and Marvel Comics at large. I'm so glad. Like, I'm most excited for him.
Word. And on that note, basically the only way we're gonna find out who's right if we just keep on reading. It's gonna continue on Avengers Into the Phoenix Part 4 on issue 43, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I don't remember the issue number, but yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was 40, 41, 42. So that should be coming out soon. Dayspring, it was an honor and beyond a pleasure. I'm gonna say it was on the level probably that Odin felt when he banged the Phoenix Force. That's how good it felt to have you on.
I mean, you know, I am fiery, so
definitely.
I was gonna make a horrible joke. Oh man, no, guys, I'm such a stan of your podcast and everything. Like, I'm so glad. I can't believe I'm here. Like, I could stay talking to you guys forever. You guys are so smart, and like, I love what you guys are doing, dude. Your Stan Lee tribute episode, that was amazing. And
thank you.
And you guys have been on top of it with the Ray Fishy drama. And
appreciate that.
It's such a, I love seeing you guys on the feed. You guys just rock. Like, I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Likewise, man. Right?
Likewise,
the same
very
thing,
much
Generation
likewise.
of X.
And so to all the fans out there, friends, compatriots, legionnaires, lovers, love you guys. Always a pleasure and an honor. This is Ches.
And this is Miguel.
This is Rod. And before we finish, give a few links to your social media, Dayspring. Where can they find you?
Yeah. So you can find us on Instagram at Generations of X, and that's on Twitter as well. And if you have any questions, comments, just email at generationsofx@gmail.com. And come to book club February 28th.
Check him out. Check him out.
Yeah.
And I'm Rod. Peace out, people.
Laters.
Bye.